I am tweeting. Alrighty. Let's see. Pulling up chat.
Oh, come on, man. There was one trailer in there that we're gonna watch that I know you're hyped about.
I mean,
You can't
yeah.
beat the beast? There's no way you could beat the beast.
First of all, I think you're. I think I don't. I'm not super
No way
excited
you're
about
strong
that.
enough to beat the beast.
I don't think this is. I don't think this is the gotcha moment you were expecting. Because I don't think my excitement level's too high for that one.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
care. I just want to do my impersonation of James McAvoy and Split in Glass.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Where the fuck? Okay,
We are
hold on.
live.
Hold.
No one can take on the beast. I
There.
fucking hate him in those movies so much. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's so amazing. He's doing all these performances." It doesn't matter. He could literally one of his alter egos could be like fucking could be fucking like
Plug-in?
Al Pacino's best performance, but it doesn't matter because one of them is yeah, could take on the beast. Oh, I can't do it, that motherfucker.
I didn't like those movies very much, but I didn't mind his
I have
performance.
not. I've only seen Split, which I didn't like that much. But I am about 22 minutes into Glass.
Like right now, like you're actively.
So I've watched about 22 minutes over like a few weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Mostly I put it on as like a joke, like when my wife and I are looking for something to watch, and I'm like, well, we're gonna watch Glass, and she's like, haha, real funny. Turn this shit off. And I'm like, come on, man, give it a chance, give it a chance. It looks sweet, sweet Glass. And then we eventually just sort of like move on. But then I keep doing the joke, like, let's keep watching Glass. So we've watched like, probably more like 37 minutes of the movie over the span of a few weeks. We're not very far into it, but we're far enough to know that it seems really stupid that the beast is like kept in a room where the only thing keeping him there is a flashing light, which, you know, seems kind of like not a good idea because supposedly the light flashes and he changes his alter ego to like one that doesn't want to escape or kill people, right? Like the beast. Um, but the problem is, and I don't know, no one has addressed the fact that it's just a flashing light and he could just like close his eyes and then attack. Maybe the whole point of the movie is that the crazy genius Mr. Glass will hey, try closing your eyes. Maybe that's what's gonna happen. We're not that far yet though.
I don't think that's what happens, but
You don't remember? Do you remember
I
the
don't.
flashing light?
I do vaguely.
Like
I
like he's gonna like escape or like attack people
yeah,
that are like
yeah.
talking to him, and then they flash the light at him.
Right.
He could
I
just
do.
close his eyes. He could just
Well,
literally he could just close his eyes.
look, I don't. I'm not.
The
I don't know
beast
what you
never
want.
closes his eyes. No light can stop the beast.
I don't know what you want from me here, except I imagine that they'd be using an ultra powerful light, and eyelids are pretty thin.
Okay, so walk backwards. Nick, stop it. Stop it.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, okay?
Don't act all high and
Look,
mighty like you're above some shit like Glass. I bet you saw that shit in theaters like
I
the
did
week it
not.
came out.
I did not
Also,
actually. I
looking
watched both
for-
of those movies at home back to back.
Looking to explain logic in a series of films in which Bruce Willis is literally invincible, like
Look, Unbreakable.
Wait. That's not the weird part of those movies.
oh
yeah,
no, that's just the
Unbreakable is
most
a great
obvious one to
movie.
me.
Like that's such a weird thing to bring up.
Look. Unbreakable is like maybe one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movies, and
Yeah.
And I liked Split almost entirely because I thought it was such a cool twist. So I was actually really excited.
The end was a great twist, but let's back this up a little bit.
But Glass,
I'm literally talking about like the worst film character of all time. This dude with an alter ego. And what if he talked like this? The Beast.
I don't know why you're obsessing with that. I thought that was fine. This is
yeah. Well, don't make me add the trailer to trailer talk because I fucking will.
We already have 57 trailers to go.
Anyways, they're keeping this man in this room with a flashing light, and then you're like, oh yeah, but Bruce Willis is invincible.
Glass almost retroactively ruined Unbreakable. I don't know if I feel the same about Unbreakable.
So
now that
Split ruined Unbreakable. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I don't feel the same
Marvel,
way.
It ruins Star Wars. Like these things, they just dilute and they.
I don't feel the same way about it as you do, because I don't think Split ruined Unbreakable. In fact, I think Unbreakable made Split better.
Okay,
and then Glass ruined Split and Unbreakable because it's just.
I want to watch Glass because it's so bad. It's good.
You clearly don't want to watch Glass.
No, what are you talking about?
Because
you don't believe in watching something that is like fun to watch because it's dumb.
First of all,
so bad it's good. You know.
Well, 2 points to that. One, who the fuck are you talking to, man? I don't watch shit when I think it's bad. If I think it's bad, I don't watch it. Like if I'm actively not enjoying it, I don't watch it.
Yeah, but it seems so silly. It's not boring. It seems fun, like fun bad.
But I don't. But my brain doesn't work that way. It doesn't. If I think it's dumb, I think it's dumb, and I stop watching it. Okay. 2, you're not enjoying it if it's taking you 3 weeks to watch 37 minutes.
No, it's because it's a bit, Nick. It's because it's a bit. It's the fact that I keep putting it on, like that's what we're watching for the night, and then Malia goes, "Ha ha, this bit is hilarious. Can we watch something else?" But then I'm like, just give it 5 more minutes. Give it 5 more minutes, man. Maybe it'll hook you. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you know how I know I didn't see these movies in theaters? You were the one, Brad, who made me interested in watching Split.
What? Because the twist was cool.
On this podcast. Because you talked about it, and at this point it was already out. You could rent it or whatever. And I had no idea. Yeah, no, and I watched it because
that's the thing. M. Night Shyamalan had fallen from grace like hardcore, and I don't love Split, but it was definitely like a sign that maybe he wasn't like.
He still got it somewhere in there.
Yeah, not still got it, but maybe can make stuff that isn't tragically bad anymore. This was post Avatar, the Last Airbender movie. I mean, true tragedy. So, and then the fact that like they threw in the twist at the end. That shit was inspired because this was also like, crossover. I mean, just crossovers are hype. You know what I mean?
When they're done right, they are hype.
And the idea of like this was like post MCU. This was like post MCU. Like they had not even gone to Endgame yet, right? What's the one with the snap? Like I'm saying,
Infinity War.
Like people were still excited at the idea of like the MCU building to something, right? And then so to see this in the height of that, like a twist like that, like the twist not just being that, oh, this is related to Unbreakable, but it's literally like, oh, we just watched like a supervillain movie and they've tied in this superhero movie. That's cool. But we talked too much about it. He ruined it.
It's tragic. It's tragic. He set himself up for what could have been a really cool movie. And then fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Which fucking sucks. Anyways,
Unbreakable is good.
Unbreakable is still sick. If it just maybe stop right there. Just stop at Unbreakable.
Signs. You stop at Signs.
No. I'm saying in terms of the Unbreakable. Now there's essentially 3 Unbreakable. Just watch Unbreakable and just pretend like that's the only one. Maybe.
Yeah.
You can watch Signs until like the last 15 minutes.
Hey, dude! Signs is like I love Signs. All of it. Even the last 15 minutes. Dude. The last 15 minutes.
Bad take, Chris Davis. Boo, boo.
The last 15 minutes of Signs makes that movie. Like, what are you talking about?
Maybe the last 5 minutes. The whole.
All right, no, we know what you're talking about. So anyway,
man,
look at the scene.
Dude, I fucking love that scene so much. Holy shit! And then the way it works into the flashback, man. Oh my god, that movie is. I love that. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, it's a weird take, Chris Davis. Yeah, so stop at times. Maybe watch like The Last King of Scotland.
I wasn't
but whatever
even
you
talking
do,
about.
Don't ruin
Night
James
Shyamalan.
McAvoy by watching Split or Glass.
I might even say stop watching. If we're talking about M. Night Shyamalan movies in general, I usually say maybe stop at The Village. Like I like The Village enough to like keep it in there.
I'm pressing the button. Let's fucking do trailer talk.
Other movies.
Let's fucking go. Hey everybody, let's watch some game trailers.
Pause it. Turn this shit way up, dude. We can't hear it.
Have you watched this yet, Brad?
No.
And I can't hear it. Is that just me, or am I muted? Maybe
he turned it up.
Oh, I'm muted. Whoops.
We are the same, Miss Croft.
All right, hold on.
We have both had everything taken from us. You think danger is your friend?
Man. The Narika blade point.
You did watch this trailer already?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't care about this shit. I just thought it was funny to put it here.
I mean, it's based on the version of Lara Croft that you don't care much about, right?
Yeah, but also, like, I want to know what the animation studio is behind this.
It depends. I mean, it's not that version of Lara Croft that is the problem. The problem is it's 3 games of the same like character arc or whatever for that character, and if she's still learning how to survive.
Yeah.
Wait, can people not hear the trailer?
It's just not loud enough. It's never loud enough.
I'll turn it up. I'm just trying not to make certain words drowned out.
Because it is trailer talk. You are paying to hear us talk. Okay, you're not paying, but you're all here to hear us talk.
You could be paying if you want. You can
yeah,
pay.
we don't
Patreon.com/4Player.
Sometimes I swear you have a death.
Yeah, I mean the thing about something like this is I've never cared about like the story in a Tomb Raider game, right? And it's not like the setting or the lore is like so unique to Tomb Raider, you know what I mean? Like something like Castlevania. Now I'd argue that like with that show, right? I didn't really care about the story of Castlevania games, but like the setting and like the like you know like all of those not even the lore, just like, oh, he's in Dracula's castle and he's fighting a wolfman and stuff, you know, like those, you know, Castlevania is based on like universal monsters, right? Like that still feels kind of unique. This is just adventure lady goes adventuring in an adventure-y place, and I'm like,
this is gonna live or die by how compelling they make Lara as a character.
I'm already asleep. What do you mean?
Okay, so
what is a compelling character?
What I mean to say is I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know. It's maybe the drama. Like, I'm not sold on the drama of Tomb Raider in general. Of just
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm just not that interested. How does the animation in something like this compare to Castlevania? I never watched Castlevania either.
Kind of similar, I guess. But that's the thing, right? Like the shit that fucking, you know, Trevor Belmont is doing with like all his, you know, his whip and his fucking tools, the Castlevania sub weapons, if you will, the things he's fighting, like Alucard, you know, and his floating sword and shit, and you know, like it's cool shit. Like Adventure Lady is just climbing things and pickaxing things, maybe, you know, like it's not the same. So like even if the animation is comparable, the things you're seeing happen in the animation, a vampire fight versus a vampire hunter is just way cooler than anything Lara Croft's gonna do. So what am I watching here?
Fair enough.
You know
Next trailer.
Sypha does cool magic. Lara Croft does.
And we're already to the Monster Hunter Wilds trailer.
Yeah.
The 18th. There's almost as many.
Pay attention this time, Nick.
I was paying attention, bitch. I watched this thing live.
There was like 2 trailers before those weapon videos, and one of them was a teaser.
I feel like there's almost as many trailers of Wilds as there is of Space Marine 2.
You would be fucking wrong.
I feel like that's accurate though.
It's fucking not. You're both morons.
I feel like I'm seeing too much of this fucking video game is the thing.
Oh, you're such an idiot. I'm sorry. All right, just pay attention.
Why do you keep saying pay attention like I wasn't paying attention?
Look at this fucking rose spider. Is this not the coolest shit?
I mean, it's pretty cool, but like, I kind of like some of these to be surprised when I actually play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. You don't like Monster Hunter as much as me. I know. But yeah, before those, where every day they did a 50-second trailer for each weapon, there was like 2 to 3 trailers. So calm down, both of y'all.
Once your business here is concluded,
Some people in our Discord were talking about how much they hate the desert setting, and I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like one of the coolest things about this.
like a wild beast,
I love the
desert setting of Monster Hunter as well.
I know, but this looks. I mean, this is obviously like central to the story. It's like the main thing they're focusing on. Yeah, it looks really nice.
So
This
Apex.
This flagship monster, whatever this guy is.
This weird looking electric
It looks
dragon.
kind of like Astalos meets Diablos.
or Quetzalcoatl.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Ooh. But I don't know. Kind of cool. I'm sure it'll be a damn good fight, right?
So
I mean, they're both.
Here's my question.
You don't think
is
that's
the
the question?
primary gimmick with this game? Because the
You think
past
with
several
the
Monster
bear
Hunters
thing?
always have one particular gimmick to them. Like Worlds was like the first big giant like, world thing, and then
Okay.
Rise had the wire bug.
According to the few trailers they've had on this game, it's the environment and the changing like weather and weather conditions affecting the environment and the animals, the monsters, and all that stuff.
And I have a feeling. I do have a feeling
The
that when we
wilds.
find. I do have a feeling the wilds aspect of it is going to make the game feel a little less disjointed. That's just my take. Like it's going to feel a little bit more.
Yeah, like you don't have to go
Seamless-
back to camp and stuff.
Yeah.
You just you set up camp wherever in the world, which is a big change for Monster Hunter.
Okay. All right.
Which that could be super exciting.
Yeah,
All right, next trailer.
that new monster does look sick. I'm guessing that's what that new Charge Blade is based
This
on.
is like the most unexpected surprise maybe of Gamescom, and it was what they closed with, which seemed a little underwhelming, but like at the same time
Yeah.
also kind of exciting.
I mean, this
Underwhelming, I
we knew a
suppose.
Mafia game was coming, but we didn't know
Yeah.
exactly what it was. And
Mafia
this-
is it? Unless you were a PC gamer in like 2001 or whenever the fuck Mafia came out, like the series has always been a little like, oh yeah, Mafia's pretty good. You know, it's like I don't think it's anyone's favorite game. Like I said, unless you were a PC gamer in like 2002 or whenever the fuck the first
Dude, the
one
funny
came
thing
out.
is, you say that I had family in town when the eclipse was happening, and they had 2 younger kids there. The boy was like playing my PlayStation the entire time, and he was fucking obsessed. He got the Mafia trilogy, and he blew through like Mafia 1 and 2 while he was here, which was a very short period of time. Like, loves the series. So there are some people out there who adore them.
Sure, I guess. I don't know.
This thing of ours.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a nothing trailer, and you honestly don't even care about it until you see the title, right?
I mean, the cool thing is,
yeah.
the cool thing that we can tell from this is that it's a period piece, which is neat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all period pieces, but like this is
I mean,
a
it's
very
the Godfather
drastically-
Part 2.
Yeah, it's
Or,
a
I guess it's the
drastically different
yeah.
series.
Well, I guess the
Um,
Godfather Part 1, he goes to Italy, but you know what I mean. The
Right.
old country.
So this is exciting, and also the I would imagine they're kind of using the Mafia 1 remake as kind of like maybe the high bar, or like
foundation.
the foundation for whatever's coming next, because that's obviously been the best thing the best thing that they've done with the franchise.
I guess.
Um,
But you know that they say that in like the little post conversation. You can go to the next thing. The little post conversation that it's going to be a very linear story, and which makes me think that like
They've
most
all been
Mafia
linear. I mean,
games. Well, not
with
3.
the- 3 is the only outlier. They've all been linear.
Yeah, but that's been like the biggest flaw of that series.
I
It's
mean,
a brotherhood.
I feel like
You have this big beautiful world, and you kind of don't do anything in it. It's very like
it's like LA Noir. Yeah, it's
but that's
like,
not good. That's like
but
not the
that's-
good.
Will not exist among
But it's like the world is there to serve as like immersion, and that's it.
Yes, but like to say
Like-
that when like
your life,
maybe Rockstar's better at storytelling like this than anybody, and
family,
that they don't have to have a super linear game to tell those stories. So you know, I feel like this series has always used that as like an excuse that doesn't really make sense. But alas, let's move on.
I mean, I'm just in the fact that this is supposed to be turn of the century Italy, and like this immediately kind of gives me a little bit of Red Dead vibes in a way.
So we talking like, so this is like pre-Cars, right? This should be like, this is like old country,
This
right?
is like
Well, no,
1900.
there's cars in The Godfather. Look, this is.
But they'll all be like they'll all be like Model Ts or whatever they are, right? Like they'll all be like super old cars.
I mean, if that car doesn't blow up in The Godfather Part 1, a lot of the events that follow don't really happen. So let's. All right, come on. Let's...
What if I told you there was a connection?
So this is a lot of
this
Troy Baker
Xbox
talking.
series, I can't wait. I'm gonna have to buy an Xbox to play this.
Hey, this is Game Pass.
Is it the key to some lost power?
I know Game Pass. That's pretty hype. When's this come out?
December 9th is the official date. Just barely making the cut for Chris Davis's list.
Well, I mean, it could get delayed still. Don't underestimate this industry.
They did announce a date for PlayStation as well because it's a timed exclusive. It's March for PS5, so it sounds like they're pretty confident in hitting the date. And December makes sense because they're avoiding all of the shit dropping in November, which is a lot. So
Xbox needs their tentpole title for the fall. Otherwise, they've got basically
in October.
Like this is that we all get to feel what it's like.
So what is this shit cool? I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to this.
I've said this a lot. It looks and feels to me like a kind of licensed game that they just don't make anymore, and I'm here for it. But
really,
and evidently the previews have been very positive.
Like, are they describing a licensed game from the PS2?
I mean, this feels like a game from the era of like James Bond Nightfire. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
But why? Well, why is it giving that? Well, we know that the likeness is definitely throwing you off, but like the gameplay, like what is this? What do the previews say about? Like it's hyperlinear. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like an Uncharted game?
Troy Baker does mention big, open, explorable environments.
It's like a fucking Naughty Dog game.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that maybe Uncharted is kind of like a major source of inspiration, or Tomb Raider, but
that hold the secrets you're after.
Puzzles? I mean, this is just like a fucking Uncharted game.
Here's the thing. It is cool. I'm very excited for this. But you know what? What's going to make or break this for me is like how you're going around solving these puzzles, trying to find these treasures, right? Like that's the whole point. Like how organic that feels. Like how much it feels like you are solving the puzzles without being like nudged in the right direction or told by the
sure, but like that never stopped Uncharted from being a 90+, right?
But like that had other things. I mean, I just don't know if like the combat or like the whip thing is really gonna carry the rest of the game.
I think you have to think of the combat as more inspired by the Riddick games than actual like the Wolfenstein ones.
Because you are punching, but the thing is,
I'm Troy Baker, and I play indie.
You know, I mean, machine games, right? I mean, at some point, you just
as a kid.
I mean, I'm not saying
machine games,
game, but
wait, you're not seeing
are they like doing scenes from the movie?
I mean, the tutorial for the game is the temple from at the beginning of Raiders.
Okay, so that's like big licensed game energy, right? When there's like scenes from the movie or whatever,
which is what I've been saying.
But like, you know, everything is licenses these days, so it's like I don't think that's a problem.
I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm actually saying it's probably working in its favor because I just don't think many companies make games like this anymore. It's just, it's weird, man. I don't know. Like I feel like suddenly we're back in the PS2 era or something.
But I mean, like Marvel games, like everything's a license. Star Wars games, like why do you get the sense from that, but not like a Star Wars game?
I'm saying a very specific kind of license game. I'm not just saying license games as a catch-all. Like I'm talking about this. This is taking me back to like Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, like all those random like James Bond games
just
that are
the IP.
originals.
You know, it might be because this IP feels so limited, and I feel like the same thing about James Bond, right? Like I feel like it's such a limited IP. Like any Indiana Jones game is gonna have this energy, right? And honestly, they kind of do, right?
Which is what I mean. Honestly, it's like I'm saying things like this because, like you're right. Any Indiana Jones game they made was going to have this energy, which is why I'm surprised. Like I never expected them to even make an Indiana Jones game because I just don't think they make games like this anymore. And
So
here they are.
IP, right? Yeah, I don't know. Like a Star Wars game can focus on weird red Jedi witches or something, right? Like, oh, we're gonna focus our story on this bullshit. You can't really do that with Indiana Jones. It just has to kind of be.
It has to be this.
We know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
I kind of want the globe. I kind of do.
It's a globe, Chris Davis.
I know I shouldn't, but I kind of want it. God damn it!
You can buy a globe and draw it on there yourself.
What are you talking about, Brad?
Okay, that is a shit globe. If you want a globe because you want a globe, then buy a globe. That's not a good globe.
When was the last time y'all saw a good globe?
You want to buy it because you love machine games and you want to guzzle their nutsack, and that's fine. Just admit it.
I mean, that's an added benefit to getting the globe, Brad. Guzzling the machine games' nutsack.
Serious question though. When was the last time anyone here saw a really good globe?
If I got a badass special edition from like a Matsuno game, I'd be all over it. What?
Tell you what, I've always wanted a video game globe. Like you take a map from like Final Fantasy VII and you put it on a fucking globe. That would be fucking awesome. I would love
that. Has to exist, right?
Yeah, but say that's got to be something.
I've gone looking over the years. I've never found anything like that.
All right, next trailer.
You know what? With the right world, I might think
that'd be fucking
agree.
Cool.
This is Ben Starr in this trailer, right?
What is this? Which game is this?
This is that Berserker.
Skip this shit. Skip this one. We don't have.
You're the one that put it on here.
I know, and I didn't know we were going to be talking about. Nick wouldn't shut up about
Glass.
He wouldn't shut up about Glass.
About Glass in the ass.
We don't care about this. It looks okay.
I mean,
Nexon. We super don't care.
For years.
Okay.
There's Ben Starr.
Why does it bother you so much? Were you into that game?
I was kind of into the combat a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Okay. Can we talk for a second about how they were teasing a new game from the studio that made Little Nightmares, and it ended up being a game that looks exactly like Little Nightmares? It's not this game. It's not this game. It's easily confused though.
It is this game.
Animal.
This is okay. This is Little Nightmares 3.
Is it?
As developed? Yeah, this is Little Nightmares 3, as developed by Supermassive Games.
So here's the thing. This one kind of looks weak as fuck, right? The other one looks good. This one just looks like more Little Nightmares.
But it's co-op. It's like co-op Little Nightmares. It's like It Takes
Wasn't
Two.
The last one? The last one was co-op, right?
No.
No.
You sure?
I played all the way through it. I don't think it was. I mean, I just
get a friend, dude. Wait, wasn't that game? It had 2 characters.
Yeah, but it was still single player. Now it's like you can play single player or you can play with a friend. I think.
So this is just like crappy It Takes Two.
I mean,
I don't know. This will be fun, I'm sure.
I like. I
will say, I watched this trailer after I watched the other trailer, and the other trailer looks a lot better.
I mean, I do not disagree with you on that.
You know
but
what,
I can't.
You know what though? The Don't Nod game looks better than like Don't Nod's doing the same thing. They're making legally distinct Life is Strange, right?
Are you talking
just
about
like this is?
Are you talking about Bloom and Rage?
Yes, that's on here. If we get,
I think that looks.
Skip the shit. Ain't much more to say.
I also want to throw out that like this is also a side project to the other Supermassive announcement that we got today. So
right. The other
they had to split
I might not have that video. I might not know what that is.
They announced a new Dark Pictures game.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Which is very different this time.
What's it called?
Directive 8020.
Oh, that was the pre-show.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't put it on there. Why was that not good enough for Keely?
We need more people. The best thing would be to recruit.
I don't know.
Because Little Nightmares 3 had been on Namco money.
All right, so what's the word on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2?
Will you help us?
I mean, not for you, but people are pretty hyped.
I know that Ed is hyped.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I mean, people who like the first game are hyped.
Yeah.
I think the
it's
horse
just
eaters.
it's just a realistic medieval RPG simi kind of thing with like, with no black people, because black people didn't exist in the Middle Ages, according to the creative director or something.
Yeah.
But maybe
also,
I think they have
like the depiction of women in their previous game was pretty bad.
Well, there's a lot of these games, unfortunately.
When you have a dedicated DLC because you could not implement
Hey, look!
a
There's a
creative
number with the
character.
crossbow back there in the key art. Sweet Baby Hink got their hands on this one.
Jesus.
Not how things were back in the Middle Ages.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh god,
Man,
this Batman
man.
this Arkham thing, I don't think looks too hot.
People are going to vomit.
Oh, it doesn't look hot? What did we expect out of a Batman VR game?
I don't know. I mean, I think
Through Gotham like a plague.
honestly,
This
you know
is
what?
camouflage. They did the VR Iron Man game.
You know
Do
what's
people
not
like that
selling
one?
me on this? I honestly, this is one of those things where I can guarantee you this game looks a lot better with the actual, like when you actually have the headset on. And trailers never do VR games
VR.
justice.
Yeah.
But like,
here's the problem: is that this game is only going to be on MetaQuest.
yeah, that's
Right.
one
So-
thing. Two, the other thing is, the
That's like
Batman
probably
Arkham
just-
series,
Jim, this rat king could
like
be
it's
anywhere.
the story seems kind of
Face in the
lame.
crowd, a foot soldier in
The
his
story
own
seems
fanatical
lame?
mob.
The story seems kind of lame. I don't know. It just seems like so
how in the hell
inconsequential
do we find
comparatively speaking to like. It feels like it's going to be that Batman game where they have no recognizable villains because it's like this is not the main. This is not one of the main games. We're not going to put anyone you actually recognize in here.
Okay, but
That's-
you're also playing it for like cool VR or Batman stuff.
Sure.
The thing is, are you actually just I mean, this is VR. Quest 3, you're just going to be like punching yourself. Those aren't like punch animations.
I have-
That's you.
I have two
When you
VR
try Detective
headsets.
Vision, you do it yourself.
I
mean,
have two VR
it's
headsets, and neither
VR.
one of them are a Quest. So
Okay, well,
it don't matter.
I mean,
for
I'm
me.
sure it's just like a timed exclusive.
We were pressed
I hope so.
But I'm saying, like the cool part of VR is all like, it depends on how the game feels and like the gadgets and stuff.
This
You know,
is
you can
this
take
is
the
not a
game
timed
that-
exclusive though.
It's very like whatever. This is you just take something. I mean, what I'm saying is I've played cool VR games. Like what's the Asgard's Wrath? It's not like you're super into the story or lore of that game. It's just because they made a really cool VR game, right?
I
That's
can
what
see the
makes that-
Asgard's Wrath being really cool for like lore reasons.
Okay, but
I mean,
that's
you
not why-
famously hate
For the stars.
that folklore or whatever you call it. That.
Mhm.
Never
We've
mind.
been asking ourselves.
I'm saying if it feels good, like Super Hot VR, if it feels good, if you feel badass and you're Batman, like it could absolutely work.
And more important,
Do people like that VR Iron Man game?
Yeah, it got positive reviews.
We'll see what
Same
happens.
developer. That Batman
look.
game could be cool.
Hey, the good news is I'm playing Starfield right now and loving it, and now I get to have a drivable vehicle. Finally,
Okay.
fucking finally.
That's
Hey,
only
putting
gonna
this one on here.
moderately fix one of the game's many problems.
Okay, I still don't get the hate, man. I love this game.
No, I
Love it.
agree that
Love
there are
it.
certain aspects of the game that are really cool.
I'm pushing like 80 hours in this game. I'm
Can I ask
digging
you
it, and I'm
something?
still going.
Gun to your head, you had to sit down tonight to play Starfield or Baldur's Gate. You would choose this, right?
Gun to my head, like one of the. I mean, of course I'd say Baldur's Gate.
No.
Wait, but like, I guess I mean, like, are you saying like if I don't, depending on which one I choose, I won't be able to play the other one ever again?
No, I'm just saying you had to pick one to play tonight.
With a gun to my head, I'd probably play the one that I'm actively playing, and which would be Starfield.
You're not actively playing Baldur's Gate?
No, I haven't touched Baldur's Gate in months.
When's the
You
last
know
time
this.
played Starfield?
Like 2 days ago.
Wow. All right.
Actually, I lied. It's about 5 days ago because I went out of town. Haven't touched it since I got back.
And otherwise, I
Did you put this
would
on your
issue
top
playing a lot of
25
Bioshock.
games of all time? You were considering it,
Play
right?
it on Xbox.
Wait, what? Say again?
Were you considering putting this on your top 25
No,
list?
no, I never said that.
No, I mean, but why not?
Could be. And
wait,
said, let's put
Starfield?
the entire history of the world
Yeah.
into a game.
Because I don't think it's
Because
in my
it's
top
a
25.
trifle. It's bullshit. You know it.
Brad, do you know how many games I've played that are also not in my top 25 games that I love?
I know, but the fact that you jokingly even brought up Baldur's Gate made me angry, and you knew that you didn't put it on there because it would make me angry, and you were right.
I did not put it on there.
The fact that you even like brought it up as if it was a consideration.
Because I think it's absurd that I think it's absurd that your like weird obsession with my relationship with Baldur's Gate 3 is keeping me from putting it on a fucking list. When I know for a fact,
it's like
I know for a fact.
like fucking. I'm like Goodwill Hunting. I'm like Robin Williams, right? And you're in denial, and I'm trying to get through to you.
What am I in denial about?
And it's not your fault, Nick. It's not your fault.
What am I in
like
denial
fantasy?
about?
It's not your fault.
Fuck
it's
off.
Not your fault,
you
Nick.
do not know what you're talking about,
It's not your
Brad.
fault.
You do not know what the fuck you're talking
fault.
about.
See, until you break down and start crying like Matt Damon in Goodwill Hunting, I'm not going to give up.
I don't understand what point you think you're trying to make. You think I don't like Baldur's Gate 3?
You appreciate it and respect it so much.
Off. That is not.
It's not your fault, Nick.
That is. You are a fucking idiot, Brad.
It's just a bit.
You're
Come on, let's
fucking idiot.
Civ 7. Come on. The Goodwill Hunting. That was a good callback. I mean, a good reference. All right, continue.
Fucking Civ 7, baby. Oh, I'm so looking forward to putting 40 hours into one round.
You know, it's funny, right? Because in the showcase, they had the Little Nightmares 3, and then they had the Little Nightmares one that looked better than Little Nightmares 3, right? And it's like, oh, that's not cool that they're in the same showcase, but I guess that's just how it works out sometimes. It was like how they recently had like a Kojima game in the same showcase, or they had like Death Stranding, but there was something like that recently. It's like, I can't believe they put both in the same showcase. Something like that recently. Anyways, also this, right? There's the actual Civilization, and then there's that Ara Untold or Ara
History's Untold, I think. Something like that.
And it's like that's just like Civilization at home.
Yeah.
And it's like have them in the same showcase. How do you feel if you're the developer of that other Civ knockoff? Probably not good. Not good. Because they pay money to be in these fucking Jeff Keighley showcases, right? You must feel shitty. You know what I'm saying? And I bet the Little Nightmares people feel the same way. Did they pay money to be in this fucking Jeff Keighley showcase only to be upstaged by...
Civilization was the game that was created during...
Tell you what, though. Like, I love Civilization, but this entire trailer tells me basically nothing about what makes Civ 7 bigger and better than 6 or 5 or any of the others.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like more Civ. I will say...
Like, they need to do what they kind of did a little bit for Civ 6, which was a series of gameplay introductions to every single class, civilization, and all the mechanics. They need to do that, and they did not do that with this. They didn't need to do this trailer.
This was just a reveal. This was a reveal. They've not shown what the game looked like before. Should have asked.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I played a lot of Civ 6 and even more Civ 5, and I visually, looking at this trailer, would not be able to tell you the difference between 6 and 7.
Well, unfortunately, Civilization peaked at Baba Yetu, right? We can all agree on that.
Just FYI, it is 8:45, so I don't know how far you want to go.
Skip this shit. Let's go.
Skip this shit. Do not call that shit. Oh, look, more fucking Monster Hunter.
What? Why is this on here again?
We already watched it. I just had the choice by accident.
We
gotta watch this one.
Oh god, what is this?
I wonder why we would be interested in this one. I have no idea.
Oh,
classic fighting game character. What's your problem?
Yeah.
Let's just go another 15 minutes or whatever. I mean, it's just the three of us. We'll be fine. There's a lot of trailers.
One segment show.
Hell yeah, dude. I will say this is not my favorite My outfit.
Is this her default outfit?
One of the
because she looks. No, there it is.
There we go.
There you go. That's the
quality on this trailer, though. sus.
And physics, right? Hell of a thing.
Now, what else we got? There's some juicy shit in here. There's the Dragon Age trailer. Where is that Dragon Age trailer? I feel like it should have been.
I forgot.
I got the Silent Hill trailer as well.
Many great tales are founded upon a humble beginning.
A lot of great trailers and release dates and shit.
Fucking Nolan. God damn it.
Hey, just think of it this way: we all win. We all get to play the Plucky
the
Squire.
the next two. Okay.
This is a job for the hero of the land.
Oh wow, there really is a lot of trailers.
I told you.
We can't do them all tonight. Like this is. We
Right,
were never supposed to watch all of them in one night.
I know, but this is just Gamescom stuff.
Hell yeah!
So
This
the
is a story
combination
trailer
of
primarily, though.
the combination of this trailer and recent preview talk has evidently put the game in a new light. Like people are getting excited and happy for this.
Yeah.
Evidently, we're not on the same threads.
You were always so
Here, this thing is always going to be divisive, even when it comes
I'm
out.
just
It's going to be
kidding.
fucking divisive.
People are okay.
But like this, it was a good idea to cut a trailer for this that is very reminiscent of the original trailer for it.
It's funny what y'all are saying because the same conversation could be applied to the next trailer we watch.
so peaceful.
Interesting.
So, Nick,
but-
as the resident Silent Hill enthusiast here, how much shit would I get from you if this was my first Silent Hill game?
None.
No
You
one
would not
gives a
get any
shit.
shit. No one would give give you any shit. I understand why you're asking me that, Chris Davis. But this is not a Half-Life 1 Black Mesa situation, okay? There are more quote unquote bad Silent Hill games than good ones. I wouldn't care if you went back and started with 3. I just play a Silent Hill game.
People really like 3.
I famously don't really like 3.
Whoa! Does Ace know about this?
Yeah, he knows. Well, I don't know.
You don't
That's
like
actually not. That's actually not entirely true. I do like 3 a lot. It's just I like a lot. It's not. It doesn't rank very high on my ranking in the series, but I still love it.
I've seen.
So
it.
here's my side question. Bloober's probably already got some pre-production work on a Silent Hill 3 remake. And if this game does well,
Are you
where's that
assuming
coming
that?
from?
Yeah.
Where is
we
that
don't-
coming from?
We don't
Chris
even know if this is a success yet.
Yeah.
no, I'm thinking that Konami wants to. Konami's going big on Silent Hill. They want to keep the momentum going. I think Silent Hill F or whatever it's called is still several years out. And I think they're also a little inspired by what Capcom did with Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes.
I can't hear a word you're saying because my headphones just turned off.
Oh, well, I can hear. And you're still pulling that shit out of your ass. I mean, you don't know how far along F is. You don't know what Bloober's working on. Chances are Bloober's probably working on some completely unrelated project because Bloober has always got their thumbs in a lot of assholes. You know what I mean?
Always like this.
Okay, well,
Also, like, Silent Hill 2 is, like, iconic in a way that, like, you know, remaking the others isn't necessarily... why 3? Maybe remake the first one or make a new one. I don't... Why would you remake 3?
Look, I think if Silent Hill 2 is a success, especially critically, because I think it's going to be a success financially, probably no matter what, because it's a remake of what a lot of people consider to be a GOAT. And it's Silent Hill's comeback. You know, I feel like it's probably.
I don't know if it's going to do crazy. Even Dead Space can't really
underperformed. True.
Yeah.
True.
This probably doesn't cost anywhere near as much as Dead Space.
Probably nowhere near as Dead Space. But if they prove themselves that they can make a good Silent Hill game, I would say the next logical step is
fans
let them
coming
make a new
around on a game. It's kind of what's happening a little bit with Dragon especially after this trailer.
I mean, they just needed to actually show fucking gameplay.
You battle against gods.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Chris Davis.
They
showed gameplay like literally 2 days after the reveal, cinematic reveal.
There's like a 20-minute gameplay thing.
Gameplay was not the issue.
Yeah. I still think this game looks really nice, but maybe I should not say that out loud. I don't.
You're clever.
What do you mean?
I feel don't a lot of people think
like
this game
visuals are not really what people are complaining about.
Oh, really? I thought that's what.
Well, people like
even wing it in
the
chat
environment
the art style. I
You're
love the
talking
art
about the
style.
stylization of the characters.
I mean, I like the art style.
People are saying like visually, like the environments and stuff look really nice and crisp, and they run really well, and you know that sort of thing. People are still, I guess, a little.
So
split
what
on
is the point of
visuals.
contention then?
Do you have 3 hours, Nick?
I mean, isn't the main thing that you only play as one single character?
I mean, there's many things. Do we have 3 hours?
I mean, technically, we're gonna be here for probably the next 2 to 3 hours.
Well, not talking about Dragon Age. Let's watch this trailer.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do an entire Dragon Age podcast. Scrap everything else. Fuck it. But hey, this game got an October release date. Didn't see that coming, to be honest.
You and me, Rook.
I still don't know what to do about this because I've never played Inquisition, and I have no desire to start Inquisition.
You don't have to. Hey, it's Morgan.
Yeah, the outfit they gave Morgan makes it look like she has 4 boobies, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But she didn't have 4 boobies before.
It's a world of magic.
All right, go back and pause.
Wait,
How
on the
far
boobies? Yeah, you gotta be more specific. How far back?
A little bit more. No. Play. I'll tell you when to pause. Now, when you see the skeleton. Now.
What the fuck?
All right, go back a frame.
Oh yeah.
Shut up and listen. All right.
Yeah.
So one of the big
like
things
this.
that people had a problem with is that the cinematic trailer looked very like quippy, very marvelly, and you know people are like super anti that right now. Like quips, the Marvelification of everything.
Deadpool and Wolverine was like the most.
We don't need to hear
successful
your.
movie.
I mean, I know your take. I've heard your take, but I'm saying a lot of people are very much anti that, right?
Sure.
That's just kind of how they feel about humor and films and everything, TV.
Yeah. Sure.
And that first cinematic trailer was super that, right? And some people don't like that. And it wasn't even like super that, but people respond so violently anytime they see that now, whether they're right or wrong, and they're not necessarily right. Let's be clear here. But I will say it is a certain kind of humor that's rubbing people wrong, especially on the internet.
Yeah, but is
people upset
it a
about
very
This
vocal
shot
minority?
right here, this shot right here is like the first sign of like humor that isn't that type of humor. Cool skeleton, like a mule
Voiced by
that's
Matt
carrying
Mercer.
shit in his skeleton body and has insane crystal eyes. I don't know what's going on there, but I already love that character. And that is a very different kind of humor.
I was scared you were about to tell me people were upset about the skeleton guy. So
No, I don't think anybody's upset about the skeleton guy. Everyone wants to be best friends with the fucking skeleton guy.
The skeleton
But you understand,
guy
like
with
the
jewels for eyes and a fanny pack. Voiced
this
by Matt
feels
Mercer.
like insane, like, you know, some of BioWare's craziest characters, you know, kind of like vibe. This is very different than a bunch of like, you know, quips like from that cinematic trailer. So I am like super excited when I see something like that, because that is more the energy that I'm looking for in like a BioWare game specifically.
So real talk, just real quick, and I know you told me I don't have to play Inquisition, but like, what do you recommend? What should someone like me? Because I don't want to go into. Obviously, this has ties to what happens in Inquisition.
Play Inquisition in the DLC or don't bother. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, you're saying play Inquisition or don't bother playing this one?
I mean, watch a YouTube video. I don't know. Let's.
I don't have time to
like a
introduce
good
another
YouTube video.
90-hour RPG between now and October 31st.
I just said watch a YouTube video. The problem is you also don't like long YouTube videos, so you're kind of fucked. You're probably gonna watch like the little video that the publisher makes for this like BioWare or whatever makes for this game and be like, I think I'm ready, and then you're just gonna start playing the new one, and that's gonna be fine, unless it's like a 78 or something, and you probably won't play it. But if it's like an 86, you'll be like, oh, maybe I got to play this.
I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition has always been that one game where in like, I mean, I like the series a lot. I'm always curious. I don't like. It's like, why did I not play Inquisition? I don't fucking know.
Because you didn't fucking like it, Nick. It's not your fault. It's
Why do
not
you
your
keep
fault.
saying that tonight, Brad? I'm gonna shove that sentence
You're
down your
not
throat.
Western fantasy pilled. You're just not, and that's fine. You like.
Wait. Now I'm not Western fantasy.
It's okay to not like things.
Wait, Brad, I don't like things all the time. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying this like Western fantasy.
Where are you getting
How
this?
excited are you about Avowed?
I'm pretty excited about Avowed.
Okay, exactly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's finish this trailer. Let's finish this
I am
trailer.
so confused. So now I don't like Eastern stories or Western stories?
No,
what do
Western
I like, Brad?
Fantasy.
Brad, I think you're full of shit. I love Western fantasy.
We got plenty of stuff for next week.
I like fantasy, bitch. That's pretty fucking cool right there. I think this game looks pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. What's the PC console? What's the word here?
Everything?
What's the safer? No, but what's the safer bet?
Whatever you want to buy it on, really. I mean, PC's always the safest bet, I'm sure.
Is it coming out on Steam? Is it coming out on Steam?
Did we just build a new PC?
Surely.
No,
it's EA, and they don't do anything on their app anymore. It'll be on Steam.
It's fine. It's nice.
As long as it comes to Steam, I'll probably just play it.
We'll watch this next week. Stop it.
All right, let's fucking go. We got a 1-segment show to record tonight.
No. We're done.
Oh, really? I did want to talk about Arc Raiders, but okay.
Oh, I mean, we can watch one. Or
okay.
So,
I mean, there's a lot still on this playlist, so we don't have to rush it.
But I want to throw in Arc Raiders because I know we'll forget about talking about it next week.
Told us nothing of this.
My thing about this is that they've Embark, who is ex-DICE devs, they also did the finals last year, and that's their free-to-play title. The Arc Raiders is also supposed to be free-to-play. Okay, they have since rebooted it in the past 2 years as a premium title,
as in not free-to-play,
as a $40 title. Which, hey, I'm fine with if you're gonna
everything to lose.
Whatever. But this tone is 200% opposite of like what this game originally showed itself to be.
I need to go watch that original trailer. I remember watching the original trailer and being pretty into it, but I don't remember what the tone was or how it's different than this.
Oh, it was just fucking running around and fighting giant robots with a bunch of different people, and it looked very, very fun.
To be fair, though, this trailer did not show a lot.
No, it shows you fucking nothing. And just if you compare it against the other two trailers, like it might as well be a completely different video game.
It's possible that it is. All right,
anyway.
Let's get ready. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that trailer because
they are doing a play test in October. So I do want to try to get into that.
All right.
We do this, and then we do this. Oh, why are you so low? What the hell? 1 second.
What's going on? What's so low? Hey, look, there's new screenshots from Avowed, which I'm excited about, Brad.
I want to be clear here, Nick. This is not about when I say you don't like it. I'm obviously being a little smarmy. Obviously, you like these things, but there are certain things that like put us at 11. For Chris Davis, it's like fucking spy thriller, fucking Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy bullshit, right?
I mean,
for
true.
you, it's horror, Dexter, murder, detective-y, fucking horror investigation. I don't know. You're
true.
fucking pilled a certain way. For me, it is that Western fantasy shit, right? You understand?
Sure.
Like for some people, for Nolan, it's fucking Fallout shit or whatever, right? You can like those things, but when I'm being like a little like sarcastic about it, like you like putting like Western fantasy, like CRPG fantasy shit anywhere near the top of your list makes me wince a little bit because I know like
that's gatekeeping as shit, Brad. What the fuck are you dude?
Who gives a shit? I'm not trying to gatekeep it. I'm playing your therapist right now, homie.
I don't need you to be my therapist, Brad. I love Baldur's Gate 3. I fucking love it. I fucking love every second I spend playing Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know how many times I need to tell you that. To get you to stop telling me that I'm lying. Like I did not put it at the top of my fucking
It is not
top 10
unreasonable. It is not unreasonable for me to say, well, then play it. It's not. That's not unreasonable.
Brad, our brains don't, dude. I am so overwhelmed by the thought of even playing it right now because I know it means every other thing that comes out this year is just gonna like.
Fine, that's fine. That's fine. I just want you to know the reason I keep like poking that bear is because it pokes my heart every time you mention Starfield. It's like a little tiny cut to my fantasy loving heart. You understand that? Starfield, Cyberpunk. You played 90 hours of Cyberpunk and it was like 90 like claws against my Baldur's Gate loving heart. And to you it's like it's a Tuesday. I get it. To you it's a Tuesday, but for me, I literally put Baldur's Gate 3 on that list like unquestionably. You know, so for you to him and haul over half that game, it's like it hurts my heart
Brad,
a little bit. That's all. Keeps coming up. And you joke too. You're like, maybe I'm gonna replay Singularity way before I ever play Baldur's Gate.
Look. When I sit down to play Baldur's Gate 3, and this is the way it was when I started Baldur's Gate 3, I want Baldur's Gate 3 to be like the only game that I'm playing. I don't want to be juggling like 6 games at once.
Which is fair. That's literally never ever going to happen.
That is not true because when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, that's what happened. I was only playing Baldur's Gate 3 for like a month.
But the nature of this podcast and the fact that game is not new means you'll literally always be playing something else now. But the thing is, you still do it with Starfield. You know what? We got to move on. All I'm saying is it's not horror for you. That's all I'm saying. And you agree to that.
But there's also like,
and I don't think like lesser of you. I want to be clear here. I don't think lesser of anybody because they have their fucking preferences. Yours are very like kind of aligned with like.
But you're telling
me
Carlos
that likes or whatever, right?
You don't understand. Like when I think about Baldur's Gate 3, the first thought that I had in my head is, I have never and maybe will never play an RPG as good as Baldur's Gate 3. That is like literally one of the first thoughts that crosses my mind.
I mean, that might be true because there might not be an RPG better.
But because I haven't finished it, that's not true in your eyes.
But that's not how I think about things. Some of my favorite games of all time, I have not finished. It's not how I think about it. It's a heart thing. I feel like your heart is not there in the same way.
My heart,
like you've heard me passionately talk about my love for Morrowind, right? You know, it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Bog noise, thank you.
As good
as Baldur's Gate 3 is, it is also very overwhelming, which is exactly how I feel about
literally any game can be when you have a mental block.
I am starting my recording.
You piece of shit.
I never hit credits on Morrowind. That's all I'm saying. It's not about credits, Nick. It really
Brad,
isn't.
I just want you to know that one day I think when
you're gonna hit credits and I'm gonna feel the same way.
No, you know what? One day I'm gonna just start playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm gonna finish Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm just not gonna tell you.
I mean,
I'm just never gonna mention it.
That's like 1000% not true. 2, that's like a Chai Tai bit. Don't steal Chai Tai's bit.
But also, I'm afraid that when I finally sit down to play it, you're gonna be like, and I finish it, you're gonna be like, now aren't you glad I pushed you to do this?
I will 1000% not say that. You know what I will say?
This is borderline.
I will continue to make jokes about how you still don't like Baldur's Gate 3 that much. That's the reality.
Borderline.
So if you want to peek into the future, it is what I just told you.
This is borderline Tales from the Borderlands situation all over again.
If you stop out of spite, then go for it.
But instead of an entire community telling me nonstop to play Tales from the Borderland, it's just you, but at the same level.
Here's the thing. Spite is an emotion that like I understand and I accept. So if you stop out of spite, then it's like, oh well, at least things make sense to me. It's what the current situation that's not making sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Few words have been more true in the history of our species than Brad saying spite is something I completely understand.
We should move on, but I never want to like.
I know why it's bothering you, and I've known you for a long time. Like, I get it. We are certainly clashing on this, and
our brains work. See, at all times, I'm looking at what I'm playing on a spreadsheet. And I see, and I identify and prioritize things based on how realistic it is that I can finish.
We are not that different. We are not. I get what you mean. You're building it up in your head, and it's like a mental block. And I get that. Is that not what's happening? Literally?
I am restarting my recording.
You're so concerned that I might be insulting you that you're not even listening to the words that I'm saying. It is certainly a mental thing, right? Like Baldur's Gate 3 as a video game is not actually overwhelming. You've played 60 hours of it, right?
It's overwhelming in the sense that I have not played it for months, and now I have the prospect of going back and having to relearn such a complicated game.
But again, that's like a mental thing. You sit down, you start playing it, you figure it out because you've played 60 hours of it. It'll pop right back into your head. There might be a few things here and there that you don't remember, but I mean, whatever, you'll get to it. All I'm saying is, I have that. What is wrong with Chris Davis?
Chris Davis, you gotta stop starting your recording.
Intense. I have that too. I still have not played that Witcher DLC.
Blood and Wine.
Yeah, Blood and Wine. You know, I have things where I've convinced myself I need to have like the perfect moment before I start playing this, right? And when I've come to realize that that's never going to happen. And you know, I'm also like that too, where there'll be a night of like where I'm like hemming and hawing over what am I gonna play? What am I gonna play? No, not that. And like I end up not playing anything because you know, just that whole process is overwhelming, right? I get it. It's not like it's a relatable thing, Nick. So I want you to know that like that part of it, you don't have to try to explain it to me or to convince me or to say that we're very different. I get it.
I'll stop as long as you stop trying to make it seem like I don't actually like or enjoy Baldur's Gate 3 because that is not.
Never said you don't like it. I may have joked that you don't like it.
You come dangerously close sometimes, Brad, and I will not stand for it.
I said you don't love it. You like it.
No,
and that's okay. It's not your fault. All right. I'm recording if you want to do this.
Oh my God. The question is, are we doing a 1-segment show for reals? Because if so, I'm going to go pee right now.
Pee now.
Yeah,
go.
Go pee. Yeah, my games is I'm not going to like talk all day about, so we'll be fine.
I've got the list of Gamescom stuff.
But like Chris Davis. If I'm like, dude, you don't really seem that into like Western fantasy swords and bullshit, right? You're gonna be like, yeah, you're right, and you're not gonna be like. Does that sound like an insult when I say that to you?
Just a little bit, honestly.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Like I
acknowledge
my preference.
We know where you're at, Chris Davis.
Yeah.
I don't think that like one genre is better than the other. In fact, I'm somewhat ashamed of liking Western fantasy as much as I do because I do think it is kind of like in some ways sort of lame, that Dungeons and Dragons aesthetic. So like, don't ever think me saying that I don't think you love it as much as I do is like some sort of insult because it's not. It really isn't.
I mean, my thing about the genre itself is I feel like it's just overused, and the Lord of the Rings films are excellent. They absolutely are. They are historic films.
Are you choosing violence? Right
everything
you don't have to say what you're about to say.
From my perspective, everything that has come out in the past 25 years has tried to ape that.
Well, I mean, you don't really know what you don't experience, so it's not your fault.
I look around, and from my uneducated perspective, all I see is a dearth of unique high fantasy content.
I mean, yeah, you just don't know what's not out there because you're not experiencing it.
Perfectly valid. Yes.
It's fine. I mean, that's fine. Like, I can't tell you much about fucking Tom Clancy or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
To me, it's all the same bullshit. But,
and you're not a sci-fi guy like I am.
All right, I'm ready to go when y'all are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of it's very smarmy and jokey and stuff, but there's some truth to it, you know, like play the thing you love. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And if he does stop out of spite, then did he ever really
I'm not
love
gonna
it?
stop
I mean,
out of
spite is a
spite.
powerful thing. Spite is a powerful thing. The truth is, you did
I
play an
stopped-
episode of Tales from the Borderlands, and you were like, eh.
And which made it easier to stop out of spite. Because
And that's
to be
fair.
honest, normal me.
And you know what? I think that the reason it took you so long to even play that episode wasn't because we were pestering with you. It's because you had the gut feeling that is how you would feel about it.
Yes, that's probably true. I knew I wasn't going to have the same reaction as everybody else. Even if I liked it, I was like, I know it's not going to be the same level of enthusiasm as other people. But anyways, I'm ready to record, y'all.
I
have been
25
recording.
minutes.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Let me restart.
Okay, if you've been recording for 25 minutes, please stop.
I
and
have
restart.
restarted it.
That
This is a
Chris
new
Davis
recording.
thing ideas. There's that really funny like screen grab that someone
Fucking
grabbed
here we
where
go.
like Chris Davis is doing this and I'm doing like some like
Yeah.
asshole face, and it's
It's
like,
like
man,
the lady
that's a
and the
perfect screen
cat
grab.
meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classic.
That is classic. All
I
right.
gotta say, and I know Chris Davis doesn't like when I bring it up, I guess, or anybody brings it up really, like the dabbing thing. But that video, who made that video?
I don't know, but it was pretty funny.
The one that was pushing in
just
general
a Twitch clip.
A few hours ago. That's not a Twitch clip. That is not a Twitch.
Oh,
clip.
there's a new one.
Somebody put music over it, edited it.
Great.
That is like a masterclass.
Thank you, community member. That's exactly what
I'm
I
just
wanted to
saying,
happen.
I'm not complimenting your dab or that moment or anything. Surely not complimenting the
I'm
dab.
gonna burn down
I'm saying
this fucking
that
website.
that is a well edited, that is a well made fucking video. Like I want to like show that to people. It's so good.
I'd prefer if you didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
keep
you
it
know,
private. Don't.
It's not really
publish it
about
to
the subject
world.
matter. It's about the craft on display.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Good as
yes,
video.
Nick.
Make more of those green toast. Little short. Well,
Save it for
It was
when I'm
green
on my
toast.
deathbed at 85. Just save it until then.
all right. Well,
You're
you say
clocking out
that.
at 80 You're clocking
I'm
out at
already thinking how
85?
I'm going to get that into trailer talk for next week. So I hate to break it to you.
I'm
Okay.
the one that
Can we start?
controls what gets broadcast. So
Can we
All
start?
right. Let's start.
All right.
I
Is everybody
restarted my
recording?
recording for the 5th time. Yes, let's go.
Then the roll call starts right now. Brad,
Hello.
Chris Davis,
Oh my God, we're actually doing a roll call. This is amazing.
All right. And you know what? Let's do it. Let's record a podcast. Hey, everyone. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. I honestly don't even know what episode number this is. Can anybody here enlighten me?
806.
806. Not that it matters, but 806. It is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. My name is Nick Henderson. We got a skeleton crew tonight joined by Brad Simons
Hello.
and Christopher Davis.
Howdy doody. Good evening.
Coming to you live from Austin, Texas. And, well, that is technically not Austin, Texas. Just the outskirts of Austin, Texas. I realize that I've listened to a lot of podcasts lately where people like to say, hey, coming to you live from where? I was like, when was the last time we reminded people we're from Austin, Texas?
I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter anymore. Austin is
Yeah,
just
what
this
does that
gigantic
matter?
megalopolis.
It's
I don't
funny
know.
you say that. I did a thing at work today. Let me be vague. Where the boss of the whole place was like, y'all, everybody in your section needs to come up to my office because I'm doing a thing where you're going to put pins on a giant map in the hallway about where, and it's going to be, for where you're from, right? All over the world.
Oh, like a world map.
That's going to
country.
work out.
like a world map, and then there's a U.S. map and there's a world map. Anyways, we're putting pins with our names on it, and we got up there, and she had a prepared speech, which was crazy. It was crazy.
What?
A prepared speech about how blah blah blah. Come from all over the world, and it was pretty corny. And she acknowledged it was pretty corny before she said it, but at the same time, it was pretty wild.
And let me guess, there
Anyways.
were 2 pins from outside North America.
No,
Maybe.
that's not true.
I was gonna guess.
a person.
guess.
One of my coworkers in my section was born in Russia.
I was going to guess that
okay.
there's only one pin in Austin because nobody's.
No,
barely
there's a
anybody's
bunch in
from-
Austin, and we
okay.
were heckling the California people. Do you know we just hired someone? She's
Uh-oh.
from
Careful.
California. She calls and it makes sense that she's from California, but she calls 35 the 35, and none of us can deal with it.
That is so
Insane.
right out of the Californians from SNL.
Yes, she
like,
calls it the 35 and the 1.
Oh, I love
The
it.
one?
Insane.
The one?
Insane.
No.
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 So gross.
Oh
So
man, you
gross.
gotta embrace the weirdness, man. That's cool. I love it.
The
Anyways,
35. It sounded so wrong.
I'm gonna start.
How
I'm
long
gonna
has this
start.
person been with the company? How long have they been
Oh,
in
no,
Austin?
no, no.
Not long.
I'm gonna start
Yeah.
saying it like that to my wife and just see how long it takes her to like just rip my head off.
Won't take
Anyways,
long.
guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We didn't record last week, right? Yeah, right? Did we? No, we didn't.
I think we did.
I've lost track a little
We
bit.
did
had a
something
couple,
last week.
We've had
Trailer
I think we just did a big trailer talk. It's been, look. We're kind of in the midst. I feel like we're teetering on the edge of like a really, really, really big, intense release season. So it's been a little,
I guess that's perspective. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, really. Zelda game looks hype though.
Is that the only
Astrobot.
one?
You know what? Maybe you're right. I'll take it away.
Dude,
I feel like you're thinking about that list, and the Venn diagram is like you're excited about a lot of the things like I'm excited about as well, but also you have those Ubisoft games. The thing is, when I don't think about those Ubisoft games, I'm like, yeah, I guess there's a lot of cool games coming out. But if I cared about those as much as you did, yeah, I'd be losing my mind.
I can tell you right now that like at the end of the day, my top 10 list this year is probably going to be like 70 to 80% from the back half of this year, or from what's coming between now and the end of December. That's how I feel about it right now. So I'm very much looking.
It is crazy because like you already are expecting these Ubisoft games to be on your top 10 list, which means that like it's going to be sad.
Look.
If they just
stop bringing up Ubisoft, because yes, I am excited about Star Wars Outlaws. I am excited about Assassin's Creed Shadows, but like that could still go either way. Both of those games might miss my list altogether because they're disappointing. No, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm saying they can, they could. You never fucking know. I'm not even thinking about. I mean, I am excited about those. Don't get me wrong. But you act like the Venn diagram is like the entire part of the bubble that is just.
I'm trying to think. Silent Hill as well. Okay.
Silent Hill, okay. Stalker 2.
Stalker 2, but see, Stalker 2 has a chance of letting you down way more than Assassin's Creed or Star Wars, right?
I don't think so.
I do, because that game is all.
Okay, look.
I mean, Chris Davis probably agrees. I mean, we don't even know if that game's really going to be
listen,
out of the park home run. I mean, we don't know.
Listen, for me, Star Wars Outlaws, Astrobot, Space Marine 2, The Plucky Squire, Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, Silent Hill 2, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I may not find time to play because I've never been that big on it, but it does look pretty cool. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Stalker 2. That's just what I have on my little thing here, and I'm clearly forgetting some stuff.
Isn't it crazy that like for me the hypest of the shit you said is, think about it, count the swords, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Zelda. I guess technically it's not. I mean, yeah, it's fantasy. Zelda, Plucky Squire. Like I am fantasy sword pilled. You see what I mean? Most of that shit, I can take it or leave it. Honestly,
Astrobot, man, Astrobot.
Well, Astrobot.
Everybody,
Astrobot, I'm super excited about.
I feel like, dude, I have a strong suspicion that Astrobot is going to be the game to beat at the end of the year. Like,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's
well,
fair.
Silk Song, of course. Silk Song, of course. Silk Song, of course.
It's time to take some serious copium, Brad.
Silk Song. We'll talk about it later.
He is on weapons grade copium right now.
Weapons grade copium, guys. Listen, it's Gamescom week, so we're going to talk a little bit about Gamescom. Look, let me get through this intro, Brad. Let me get through this intro.
Yo,
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
I just want to say, if Silk Song comes out, you might as well just send me the money now. You're lucky Silk Song ain't coming out. All right.
I am, actually. I recognize this. Okay, look. Gamescom opening night live was today, and it was a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how y'all felt about it.
I don't know.
It was okay.
Because it's Gamescom opening night live, I'm not as disappointed as I was with like SGF, because that's like the big E3 replacement, and that seemed way more disappointing. Especially because a lot of this stuff
It doesn't give me a lot of
Known
hope.
Quantity was at SGF.
It doesn't give me a lot of hope for the Game Awards this year because I feel like 2 out of 3 so far has been kind of.
See, the Game Awards I feel like is probably the biggest out of all of those 3 that Jeff Keighley does.
I just feel like 2023 was such a big fucking year for releases. Like anything this year for announcements or releases is just in the back of our minds not as exciting. And we're just having to deal with that reality.
He just doesn't have the good stuff. He doesn't have Nintendo. He doesn't have Sony. He doesn't have Microsoft. He doesn't have the big 3 at his things. Not really.
We haven't really mentioned this on the show, and I'm not going to sit here and talk about it because I don't know a lot about it, but there is a strike that just started having to do with video game voice actors pushing back against AI, right? I don't know all the specifics of that, but obviously good for them. And that has the potential to really turn next year and the year after that into maybe a little bit of a sparser situation. So we might be seeing like some of these like preview shows, events might be already starting to feel kind of the like maybe some things are pulling out because they no longer feel confident that they're going to be able to hit their targets because of the strike. I don't know. That's just speculation.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I feel like a lot of these publishers are just so fucking ruthless with money that they're willing to just say, okay, fuck it. Let's just get non-union talent to do voice acting. I guarantee you we're going to see a lot of that in the next 18 months because of this strike.
Possible. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about it if that day comes. But anyways, it's just, I'm very optimistic right now. I'm very excited for what's to come. This year so far for me has been somewhat slow. But I'm very excited for the back half, and I think that kicks off here pretty quick. So we're going to talk about Gamescom, the highlights. And last week we didn't do a show, but big news I want to make sure we find time to talk about, which is that Tango Gameworks and Hi-Fi Rush was essentially scooped up and saved by Krafton, the publisher behind.
That's crazy.
It's just that's crazy. I didn't see that coming. But Krafton is as of right now the only major game under their belt that I know of is the Callisto Protocol.
And PUBG.
And PUBG, right? So PUBG, the Callisto Protocol,
and PUBG Mobile, they've got all that money. Oh my fucking god!
Which is weird. They could
buy up half of Embracer if they wanted to with all this money.
So what is it? They just have a big Hi-Fi Rush fan who feels bad? I mean, obviously, I don't think this is a purchase you make because you see like the crazy profit in it, right?
Well,
I mean,
listen. I think
goodwill,
I think it maybe has more to do with goodwill because there was obviously a huge response from the gaming community to see what happened to Tango Gameworks and see that Hi-Fi Rush was basically dead on the vine for only one game, and that game was a massive critical success. So, I think there is definitely some money to be made there, but to be suddenly known as the publisher that saved Tango Gameworks, I don't feel like it's
what
a
was
stretch.
left of Tango Gameworks because not everybody got hired back.
It's just a lot of those people had to move on. They couldn't wait, obviously, so they had to move on. But it does mean more immediately that. First of all, Hi-Fi Rush, the actual rights to Hi-Fi Rush transferred with Tango Gameworks. So Krafton, and I would imagine they're jumping on this pretty quickly because that was kind of probably the impetus for wanting to do this in the first place. I would imagine they have already greenlit a sequel to Hi-Fi Rush and they're starting on it. But this also, I would imagine, does this mean? Does anybody know? Do things like The Evil Within stay with Microsoft?
Yeah, they do.
Unfortunately,
which means they're pretty much dead IP now.
Gotcha.
We'll never see that shit again.
And Shinji Mikami is still not at Tango Gameworks. So
so his non-compete clause, I believe, is over now. So,
but do you really see
he's
him
already announced that he's? I mean, what are you talking about? That's old news.
Yeah, but
I believe it's Kamiya that we're still waiting on to see what he's going to do. He's still in the middle of a non-compete.
Yeah. My point is that Tango Gameworks, even though they exist again, they're not going to suddenly start cranking out what we've come to know or expect from Tango Gameworks necessarily. Yeah. I mean, aside from Hi-Fi Rush, because Hi-Fi Rush 2 is one of the major reasons why
Mikami's already founded a new studio, by the way.
Yeah.
Kamui Inc.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
I wonder what he's going to be working on. But anyways, that's great news, right? Like Hi-Fi Rush, we all loved Hi-Fi Rush here.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's like, is this really going to be Tango Gameworks? Tango Gameworks? I mean, we'll see. We've seen this kind of thing before, right? With like Embracer and like the Darksiders dev, where it's like, oh, we have most of the people from that team and we're going to kind of keep making that stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Well, Darksiders 3 is not quite like the first, as good as cool.
It
as
ain't
the first
Darksiders 1 or
but,
2, but
but then they went on to make that other game that was really popular, the Resident Evil.
But I think people would rather. I think people would rather have a follow up to Hi-Fi Rush 2 just to see if they could
sure,
make something of it than not have it at all, and that's pretty exciting. So,
but maybe they'll make something new that's even more exciting. Like, what is that series? The Remnant games, right? Like the Darksiders people went on to make those, which blew up and are a lot more successful than Darksiders was. So
yeah, I mean, we've officially reached a new era of Tango Gameworks. It has gone through a transformation, and Hi-Fi Rush is the one thing coming out the other side that we recognize. But
is one of those studios, right? There's lots of studios that sort of reform from the ashes and end up doing cool shit. But
that is the industry, right? It happens all the time. So I just wanted to make sure
Tango's going to have to go through a
rebuilding
period over the next year or so before they can actually go into full-on production on their next title. But
it'll be like forever before we see anything.
Yeah.
But still, great news. I think, we were all pretty devastated here when that happened. Hi-Fi Rush was so great. So I'm super excited to see them take a stab at a sequel to that. And now it's looking like more like that's going to happen. So, in other news, there's a lot of different directions we could go here because like I said, Gamescom happened today. Opening Night Live. There's some things to talk about. We did just do a trailer talk.
Yeah, pull up the Twitch VOD if you're listening to this in podcast form. If you want to see our thoughts on a lot of the stuff that was at Opening Night Live, because
not even half
we did
the stuff
long trailer talk, an hour-long trailer talk, pretty much.
Yeah, we did a trailer talk for a while. Rewatched a bunch of the Gamescom stuff. So I just want to kind of hit the highlights, or maybe lowlights. There was some weird stuff. There's some cool stuff.
Peter Molyneux's new game.
Okay.
Oh my God, here we go.
I feel like that's jumping into the deep end very quickly.
We don't even need to mention it.
No, I need to bitch about it.
Well, it's going to be on next week's trailer talk.
Okay, look. Just a few couple things. I want to get your temperature on a few of these things, and then I want to just talk about some of the other release dates that were announced outside of Gamescom's, because we got hit with a bunch of release dates this week. So they pretty much open with Borderlands 4, which is what a weird time to suddenly announce Borderlands 4 right after the movie bombed fucking hard.
And the worst fucking trailer they could possibly do to announce Borderlands 4.
It was a teaser that was also very obviously Borderlands, even though they were trying really hard to obscure the fact that it was Borderlands, which I thought was very strange. And then just right on the heels, like I said, of the movie, which was kind of a huge critical and I imagine financial flop.
Oh my God, like astronomical, like
$89 million in the hole.
Yeah, it's the critical flop isn't even like that big of a deal anymore. It's how much money it lost that's the real tragedy.
The movie is going to streaming on the 30th.
Ooh, well, first of all, the 30th, like in 10 days.
Yes.
Ooh, I mean, yeah. Anyways, they lost 60 million. Is that really the number? Somebody in chat said 60 million.
Yeah.
God damn.
The budget was $100 million, and like it only made like what? It was more than 60 million that they lost.
Still, that sounds like a lot of money. The point is they open with Borderlands 4, and look, there's as much as it's weird, right, to announce a game after a movie bombs, but like movies and games are still a very different thing. We all know that 80% of movies based on video games are going to be bad. I don't think anyone was super surprised here to see the movie was bad. So I don't know if this is going to do any like
I feel like things are kind of changing. It didn't have to be bad, right?
It's changing. Definitely.
I feel like we're entering an era where that stuff is better, right? Like when you have
they should have just made it. They should have made it a TV show on HBO.
Are like, well, I mean, that's not even that, right? Like the Mario movie was fucking enormous, right?
Right.
It's things have changed / are changing. It didn't have to be a tragedy. This is like Uwe Boll levels of people distaste.
Robin came into my room.
Curtis.
Robin came into my room while I was watching this trailer, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're announcing Borderlands 4!" And she came running because she loves Borderlands, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's Borderlands 4!" But immediately, she's not seen the movie. Immediately followed up with, "But that movie I hear is terrible, so I don't even know if I'm excited about this." And I was like, "Oh wow."
Well, maybe don't be excited about Borderlands 4. Like movie aside, like modern day Gearbox is a little iffy anyway. So it's like, yeesh.
I mean, but she's enjoyed Borderlands 1 through 3, like, so I don't know, whatever.
We're not the Borderlands crew, really.
So one of the thing, I'm just gonna kind of bounce around here, and if I miss anything or if you want to interject, by all means. But like one of the major things they've been teasing, looks awesome. Monster Hunter continues to look awesome. But one of the things they kept teasing prior to opening night live was the new game from Tarsier Studios, the studios behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2. We all know Little Nightmares 3 is being developed by Supermassive Games. They announced a game called Reanimal, which, albeit, looks really cool, but if you were to put a gun to my head and ask me to guess the title of this game before I knew what it was, I would have said Little Nightmares 3. It looks very much like Little Nightmares. It looks like two small characters running around this like world where everything is huge and all the people, and there's just a bunch of like human animal hybrids and really doing creepy things and chasing you throughout the, which, you know what, I'm here for it. I love Little Nightmares, but like I'm now very confused. We have Reanimal and Little Nightmares 3, which
it's not we see it all the time. We saw it with Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which
so I wanted to ask you about that because we didn't watch that trailer during Trailer Talk. Did you not think that looked really cool?
Next week we will. That's why we didn't.
Well, right, but
what do you mean?
This is the pot. You keep saying that.
I think it looks like fine. I think it looks
okay.
No, I'm not saying that's as a bad thing. I'm saying it as this is something that happens a lot where
it does
like that's what happened with Dark Souls. It just like there's some sort of like licensing disagreement or like a team or publisher wants to make a game, but they can't get them.
We end up with legally distinct sequels or
this shit happens all the time.
So but since you're talking,
it looks nice. Bloom and Rage looks nice. I don't know what that game's gonna like play like or whatever. Or
I think it's probably gonna play very similar to Life is Strange, but we know a little bit more about it now. And what I was getting these vibes. I was like, okay, well, they were clearly always kind of going for this like kind of like 80s or 90s like young kids going on an adventure kind of vibe, like the Goonies or something. But like towards the end of the trailer, you start to see like flash forwards to one of the characters as an adult, and they're getting like menacing letters alluding to like something that they did when they were kids. And they're like, oh my god, do they know what we did? I'm like, holy shit, is this the Goonies? Means I know what you did last summer, because I'm fucking here for it. I love it.
That is a good pitch.
I'm very excited for that.
That's also he's jumping to conclusions there.
I mean, I am.
Probably going to be about love.
Well, yeah, of course. But like, they literally get a package that says something like scribbled on it in like red ink that says like I know or I remember or I'll never forget. Or I was like, this is fucking I know what you did last summer. I
saw the TV Glow. Have you seen that?
I have not. It's on my list.
That? I mean that kind of that's a movie that has vibes, but then kind of goes places that you're not expecting. But whatever. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I think it looks nice. I like visually looks nice.
What else? What else from Gamescom was? We'll get to the stuff near the end.
I just want to say that like that Monster Hunter trailer was the third trailer for. It is Monster Hunter Wilds trailer number 3, and then there's the weapon videos. So y'all are wrong. Or just mad about what I said about Space Marine.
I don't think it's fair that you're not counting weapons videos as trailers, because at this point, I'm just counting how much I feel like I've
14 days in a row, and they were 50 seconds long. It's just that's not the same thing of like 2 to 3 trailers every fucking week for months about Space Marine.
They got a hell of a marketing. They got a hell of a marketing team going on.
Necessarily great marketing. I'm not clicking on them anymore.
I mean, that's just you, but also.
It's not me. I watched so many trailers.
There's probably a point where they went a little over the top on Space Marine 2, where they could have probably just reeled it in a little bit, because now it's just diminishing returns on every new trailer that they do.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm excited for Space Marine 2.
So here's my thing about Space Marine 2 is that I'm starting to come around on the game. My problem is that
I didn't know you were not on.
No, I've been very skeptical of this for a while, because half the appeal of Space Marine 1 were the fucking orcs and the dialogue and the levity they brought to that overall game. Like, the orcs were fucking hilarious to me. And in this game, you're just
Space
fighting...
Marine 1?
Huh?
I've played Space Marine 1 now. I'm educated on the subject now. I can speak to this.
Okay.
That is not a thing that even stood out to me about that game.
Well, maybe,
is that really
it's just like a taste thing? But like, now this is just like still hordes of enemies, but like the humor is gone to me.
I always thought Space Marine was like super just unforgivingly gritty and violent, and I don't remember there being much levity in the game at all. Am I just forgetting like a major component of that game?
I feel like you were missing a lot. Like the whole turret gunner sequence in which the orcs are coming in with giant rocket packs on their back, like some kind of Wile E. Coyote bullshit. Like, I don't understand what you're forgetting, but whatever. Well, that was a very old game at this point.
I guess. I mean, I feel like that could still happen in this game.
It is very serious, dude, bro. This new one, but like that is also serious. Just Warhammer, right?
That could also I mean, that's how I feel about most Warhammer, and also you got to remember,
as an outsider,
it is marketing. So a lot of this could just be they're picking and choosing what they're showing because they know what has the most mainstream appeal. Like they probably know that stuff's got to be. If that is considered a major component of that game, it's got to be.
Don't give Saber the benefit of the doubt. We'll see. Look, I'll say this: people are very excited about that game. A lot of people, and yes. I counterpicked it in Fantasy Critic, and I'm terrified.
You kind of should be. Can I bring up a game that was shown off at
Shoot.
Dying Light: The Beast.
Ah, yes, The Beast.
This got a public trademark last week, and it got revealed.
You could take The Beast?
God, Brad, stop it. This is...
He blamed me for not being able to stop talking about Split and Glass before the show, but that's him that did it. It is him.
So, The Beast is now an expand-alone project. This was originally...
Did you say expand-alone?
Yeah, it is it was originally an expansion for Dying Light 2. It was going to be the second piece of DLC, and they just made it into a standalone game.
Like Silksong. Like Silksong.
They Silksonged it, but it's actually this game's actually coming out. Look,
I mean, that's true. Yeah, we know more about the release date for Dying Light: The Beast than we do for Silksong. Yeah,
I love Dying Light 1. And Dying Light 2 is maybe one of the most disappointing for me, like, because I was over the moon excited for that game, and it let me down in a lot of ways.
Well, I mean, this game, it's the original protagonist from Dying Light 1, and it has
didn't call it
actual
Dying Light
fucking
2 the Beast.
Guns like the original game. Like, I feel like this is a rebuttal to the community's like ire about a bunch of aspects of Dying Light 2.
I also don't think Dying Light 1... I mean, I know it had guns, per se, but I don't think there was a lot. I would never describe Dying Light 1 as a game with guns.
They were uncommon, to be clear, but like the sequel...
95% of that game was melee.
Yeah, absolutely. But they were also a very powerful weapon that you saved for occasions. were very fucking useful.
True. This expand alone, I've never heard that term. Did you just make that
Really?
up, or is that just
that's a fairly common term?
Fuck me then. Okay, this expand alone game.
Standalone expansion. How about that?
I'm cool with the expand alone. I like it.
All right.
I'm just saying, it didn't like. I was immediately kind of taken aback because like I was like this, like so much of what I wanted to be great about, so much of what I wanted to be great about Dying Light 2 that I thought was great was like the city and the verticality and the parkour and stuff. Like that stuff was fantastic. This seems to like kind of scale all of that back dramatically. There's a lot of running around on foot on the ground. They didn't really show any parkour, or they showed some.
This is supposed to be a 20-hour game with a new map, but smaller than Dying Light 2.
And less vertical is what it looks like anyways.
Yeah. I think that because they removed the 2 from the name, they're much more inspired by the original game.
It's just a bit of a disappointment on that regard for me. But I do still think Dying Light 1 is the superior game, so maybe it's not a big deal. We'll see. Yeah. But I'll play it. I love me some Dying Light.
I mean, Dying Light 2 just fucking crashes so hard at the very end of that game. Just like
literally,
the last 4 hours is just garbage.
It is. And that's the only part that I remember when I look back and I think about it, because it was so disappointing. And also, like, literally falls apart at the seams from a technical standpoint, at least around the launch window. It's probably a lot smoother of an experience now, but still, yeah. Lot to be disappointed about from that game. But hopefully this is I mean, like that last expand alone that they did for Dying Light 1 with the buggies. What was it called? Somebody help me.
I don't remember the name either. I never.
It was good. It was good.
Okay.
A lot of fun driving around the world with Nolan and Jaeger and stuff, I think. And the following, thank you, Cybele, in chat. That was great. I hope this is kind of maybe drawing on some of that for the Beast, but we'll see. What else?
I mean, there was plenty to talk about. You had how about what was it? Directive 8020. The new Dark Pictures game.
I would say the only thing that I found to be really compelling about that in any way is that at the end it was like, surprise, this is a Dark Pictures game, which I did not see coming.
I think that's fucking cool. Like the fact that it is so out of left field compared to the rest of the Dark Pictures games. Like, I may actually play this. Like,
this is the one where she's like the doppelganger, right? It looks like the evil doppelganger, like star on like a space station. She's being chased by herself or something.
And maybe like the thing in a way, like, you know, simulating and imitating.
I'm here for it. I kind of dropped off the Dark Pictures thing a while ago and never got back on that train. But we'll see.
I'm hopeful. Also, how about Secret Level? This sounds pretty fucking cool.
Secret Level was maybe one of the. It was a nice surprise.
What is that? I don't know what that is. I saw Space Marines in it, and
Secret Level. All right, I'll tell you what. Secret Level is a project from Blur Studios. You may know them as the studio that does all those really crazy, beautiful cinematics they've been doing for years and years and years. They've basically, for the past 3 years, have been working on an anthology TV series, which is going to premiere on Amazon Prime. And every episode of the series is in their signature, like, ridiculously beautiful animation style, right? But they're pulling from various different, like, each episode is focused on a character or story from different video game universes. Yeah. So they showed I think they showed Space Marine, right? Or Warhammer.
They showed Warhammer. They showed fucking God of War Kratos, which looked like a 19th century London. Like, what the fuck?
It looked like Keanu Reeves was somewhere in there, which my first thought was
Keanu Reeves is the protagonist of the Armored Core episode.
Yeah. So my first thought was it's Cyberpunk, but then it turned out he's in the Armored Core episode. So it's like a bunch of like just randomly chosen video game series being turned into these like standalone episodes of television. It looks fucking
There's
awesome.
there's also There's also the Outer Worlds. There's Unreal Tournament. There's Concord for some reason. There's Mega Man. Like,
yeah, there's a Mega Man thing in there.
Capcom, what the fuck are you doing right now? There's a Pac-Man thing. So they got so the one that got me excited was Sifu.
Oh, Sifu. Yeah, I was like,
that's
there's a Sifu
gonna be
episode.
fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. This is it's man. I honestly maybe one of the highlights of this opening night live for me, which I wasn't expecting at all. Also a nice moment of just grounded humanity from the creator who was tearing up while trying to like talk about it on stage, which was
Tim
nice.
Miller, yeah.
It very much gave me like the Rabbids guy vibes all over again. Remember that? When he was first talking about his game, that was nice. Yeah. But yeah, looks like a really cool project. It's coming out in December on Amazon Prime, and that's pretty neat if you ask me. Game wise too, there was a couple other things that were some other surprise. Well, you mentioned the Peter Molyneux thing earlier, and what?
Here we go.
I don't want to go. I don't want to get into it because honestly, I kind of turned my brain off the moment he came out on stage. I was like, he's back? What?
This motherfucking scam artist who has spent the past 8 years doing mobile content and NFT bullshit has realized that he's basically run out of money for 22 cans because the fucking bullshit he's pulled off over the past 8 years. So he's decided to do a game called Masters of Albion, which is basically black and white, but set in the fucking world of Fable. Like, I don't understand that.
How did I don't know. Like, how did that? I don't know.
He doesn't own the fucking license to Fable or the IP. So, like, how is it that he can just come out on stage and say, "Oh, my game is set in the world of Fable"?
Part of me, I kept wondering, because like I was watching this and I was like, is somebody at Microsoft somewhere looking at their screen going, "What the fuck is he doing?" like learning about this with everybody else.
He's pulling, like, lawyers were on the phone the second that got.
Well,
revealed.
I mean, I don't think Jeff Keighley would allow it on stage if there was some kind of legal.
I think Jeff Keighley will take any money that gets thrown his way.
I mean, but
all right, let's move on. We got games to talk about today. We don't give a shit about this.
He would never risk alienating Microsoft. Okay. Anyways, they did show a nice featurette about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Still a dumb name. It was mostly Troy Baker talking. They got the punches. They got
the fucking punches. That was my one complaint about the gameplay reveal of this fucking game, was that the sounds weren't there. The hard impacts, those classic over the top sound effects, they weren't really there. But now they're here, and that's fucking exciting to me.
At one point, Troy Baker's talking about the game, and he just kind of mentioned offhandedly that the game has these big open environments to explore freely, to solve puzzles and find treasure and stuff. And I was like, that could mean anything, but it was certainly made my ears perk up, because my deep down, my biggest concern is that this is going to be some like super linear game, and I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that it's maybe more akin to like Uncharted 4 in terms of like it's still linear. They're still funneling you down a path, but there are moments where you have the freedom to kind of branch out and explore things and whatever. It looks cool.
I haven't dove into the review, the preview event that happened recently. I need to read the articles, but from what I've briefly learned is that this is the
he just jerked off to the pictures.
This is the biggest project that Machine Games has ever done. Like it's bigger than anything they've ever done before.
What?
I'm completely ignoring Brad.
It's just a buzzword.
I don't know. I feel like
that was such a good joke.
It's been what, 5-6 years since the new Colossus came out. Like, they've taken their fucking time with this project. Granted, I have rose-tinted glasses when it comes to anything Machine Games has worked on.
At least you recognize this, and that's fine. I mean, this. I hope I really hope it's good. It also got a release date for, a release date and confirmation that it's a timed exclusive. It's coming out December 9th on Game Pass, PC and Game Pass, and in March for PS5. So good news. I think that's pretty much all. I mean,
I'll play it if it's good. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't really care too much about the world of fucking
Indiana Jones.
No. Fucking Chris Davis's favorite fucking series, Machine Games' previous series. Wolfenstein. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about Wolfenstein. I mean, I like Indiana Jones more than that stuff, so I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean, I played both Wolfenstein games, so I'll play this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the
Both
people who made
Wolfenstein games, the
Riddick
two
coming
main
back
ones.
and making a new melee focused first person game. Like,
And notably making it in just under the wire for the sake of Chris Davis's fantasy
I
critic.
just want y'all to know that trailer talk next week is going to be very exciting because I just added 25 Space Marine 2 videos.
Fucking let's watch, dude. Let's watch every single one.
I'm wrong. We're gonna watch them all.
yeah.
Let's watch every single one.
We're gonna have Crispy narrate every single one.
Also, maybe the last thing before we move on, unless y'all can think of anything, they close the show out with a surprise announcement of Mafia: The Old Country. It's just a teaser, cinematic teaser trailer, which is not surprising, I suppose, but it's the next game from Hangar 13. And it looks to be a period piece, like set in like early turn of the century Sicily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it for me it felt kind of strange that it was like this was like kind of the thing that you close the show out with, because I think Mafia, even though it's a well-known franchise, I've always felt like it's still kind of like niche to a degree. I mean, like, it's not Grand Theft Auto. It's not got that level of popularity, but there are people out there who really love this series. And my favorite thing they've done so far for that franchise was the remake of the original Mafia, which I imagine is kind of the foundation for what they're doing with this, because that was just a really solid, well-made game. But we've talked a lot about how it's kind of like LA Noir-ish, where like the open world doesn't serve much of a purpose outside of just serving as like a really pretty backdrop for a linear story, but that linear story is always really good. So yeah, I'm eager to. I guess we're gonna find out more about this in December, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But it was kind of a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise. I think that was the wrong way to end the show.
Like it felt like a little bit of a fizzle out. I mean, the whole show is kind of fizzling out. The whole show, like, you know, this happens a lot at like, especially these Jeff Keighley events, where like about, you know, a third of the way into it, you kind of know the temperature has been taken, right? And you can tell like the live audience has kind of decided what kind of show they're watching. And you can start to feel the energy leaving the room. And you like felt that happening pretty hardcore here.
It felt like a very quiet crowd. Like they were not giving Keighley any time to, like, you know, have applause lines and wait for things XYZ. Like, didn't feel very much hype in that room.
Hey, real quick, to be fair, I was adding 25 Space Marine 2 videos to our playlist. Literally 25, I counted.
Great.
When y'all were talking about Peter Molyneux, but
no,
what I'm looking here is like this Albion has nothing to do with Fable. He's just using the name Albion. Yeah. This dude is gonna get sued.
Yeah,
because he might think he can do that, but like Microsoft, it could just sue him because that's
what I'm saying.
A lawyer can argue that that's actually stupid. You can't do that.
But like that's what I was saying a minute ago, is that like I don't think Jeff Keighley would let him show that on his stage.
1000% he would. He doesn't.
You think at the risk of alienating Microsoft?
He doesn't care. He's not gonna. Microsoft's not gonna care. This is something between. I mean, Phil Spencer is not gonna care. This is something between Microsoft's lawyers and Peter
Molyneux.
Yeah,
Keighley has control of two of the biggest media events in gaming every year.
Also, you know what? This is pure speculation. This is probably not going to happen, but like I wouldn't be surprised at all if he did that intentionally, knowing that he was going to be sued, and then he was going to be forced to change the name. But at that point, he's already gotten the headlines. People are going to suddenly know that he's working on a game again,
and it's going to known grifter. He's been doing some shady stuff since.
This might have been a power move just to get the publicity for this game that he inevitably knows is going to have to be changed. Like the name of the game next time we see it is going to be Masters of some other random ass word or whatever, but we're going to know that it started as Masters of Albion and it caused a shitstorm with Microsoft, and at that point the quote unquote damage has been done. People, it's in the zeitgeist. People know what it is. That's my guess.
If you want some really good reading, go look up Rock Paper Shotgun's interview with him from about 2016 or 2017, in which there was just after the fallout of like the contest that fucking fell through and they never did anything for the guy.
Right.
It is such a great interview. The guy directly asked Molyneux, "Do you believe that you are a pathological liar?" Just like to his fucking face. Like go look that up. It's a great article.
That sounds cringy. I don't know if I can handle that. Anyways, that's enough news. It's just wait. I take that back. I just want to. There's been some release dates that I think are. We got a bunch this week, right? So Dragon Age, Veilguard, Silksong got a release date of 2029.
Yep.
No.
Avowed got delayed. So
Avowed
did
got delayed to February,
Kingdom
which I think was a smart
Deliverance 2 got delayed. There's been some other delays. It's starting to happen.
But which is maybe a good thing. But like the Plucky Squire is coming out September 17th. That's happening. God damn it, Nolan. A new trailer for Silent Hill 2 dropped, and it's kind of turned the tides a little bit on that game in terms of people. There's a lot more positivity around that, which I think is great to see.
Yeah, there was a preview event that basically was preceded right before that trailer hit. So
yeah,
people were
same with Dragon Age, literally. Same with
Dragon Age is having kind of the same effect. So people are starting to come around on that.
All we needed to hear was Claudia Black, to be honest. I feel like that sort of anchored us. Okay, maybe they can pull this off.
And it's coming out October 31st. It's coming out on Halloween. That's kind of exciting. What else? Shadow of Chernobyl, or Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, was pushed to November 20th.
But had like a 20-minute
that one we discussed.
But it had a 35-minute gameplay demonstration that moved that game to the very tippy top of my most anticipated list. I'm so fucking excited for that game. In fact, that is kind of the impetus for my PC upgrade that I'm doing this week.
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about maybe in a 4Player minute.
I thought it was
Wukong. Wukong was definitely something that I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have it for Wukong. But I was like, I mostly want it for Stalker.
I will say briefly, that is newsworthy, but like Black Myth Wukong is breaking fucking records. It literally became the number 2 highest for concurrent users on Steam of any game. Not just as certainly the highest single player, but like those numbers are crazy high for a single player game. And it shows that like China is a market that is probably no longer going to be ignored. And it wasn't ignored before, but it was mostly like custom versions of like multiplayer games, but
also you
in like MMOs and like shooters and stuff. And that was kind of the things that non-Chinese devs would like release in China. But I feel like this is a single player game, and for it to do this numbers is crazy.
But like one thing that's I keep seeing a lot of people like when they're talking about how this is like surpassed Elden Ring as like one of the most concurrent players. You also got to think about Elden Ring apparently is one of those games that is not sold in China. Like you're not allowed to play it or stream it or whatever.
So like skeletons and stuff.
So like,
I mean, but a lot of times games will like change the skeletons into something else. There are certain things that aren't allowed for reasons like that.
Right. Also, I found it really funny.
But like, who would have thought that a high fidelity adaptation in China of the most beloved fairy tale in China, Journey to the West, would actually, sell well?
Right.
Did you see
that? You're being sarcastic, but like, okay, one, I don't think Enslaved like popped off over there or anything, and two, like you can't discount like the just how high
it wasn't made in China.
It's not just that it's not just that the game is successful in China. It's like more successful than like most games. Period.
Yeah,
it's like the numbers are astronomical.
I mean,
It's crazy.
video games are just so gate kept in China. It's not,
Yeah, I
nothing,
mean, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
They're they have weird regulations. Like there was this whole thing of like people were like, oh, if the numbers were so high, then how come there's only like 300,000 people playing right now? And it's because China literally has like government issued time limits for games.
Also,
so like they
that
literally
clickbait article
all
in
got cut
question-
off from the game.
Yeah. Also, like that clickbait article in question, like that got published when China it was fucking nighttime. Like people were asleep. Like what do you fucking expect?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up as the clickbait article because they were like, Black Myth Wukong drops 2 million something players or whatever in 10 minutes. It's like it's like,
but it's not even the fact that it was nighttime. It's literally the fact that like it's like when you put a parental timer on like your kid's Switch or whatever, and it makes them stop playing, or an alarm goes off. That it's like that, but like on a government level, it's actually crazy.
It's actually crazy and gross, but whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about. All right, let's move on. We're doing it in one take tonight, guys. Let's. There have been games that we're playing, so I do want to make sure we find time to talk about them. And Brad, you got a game
real quick. What do y'all have?
I posted. I sent Chris Davis footage of this, but you don't have
just
to
say the rundown.
You don't have to play footage. I will say this really quickly because this.
No. I don't want you to go first. I'm just curious to what y'all have to get kind of gauge how long I should take talking about my games.
Well, I wasn't really planning on talking about BioShock 2, but I've been playing BioShock.
All right, what about Chris Davis? Yeah.
the only thing I've been playing, and I barely have anything to talk about really, is EDF6.
Okay. Yeah, and you've talked about that actually a couple times, I think now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it now, so that's there you go.
That's
all
level 100
levels, all 200 levels.
Crazy.
But did you beat them all on all difficulties?
Oh no, I've only beaten on hard. I'm working on hardest right now, and then after that, I have Inferno. So yeah.
Are you really doing that?
They're really quick Mitches, man.
He's done that, I think, with other
They're fun.
EDF games. It's weird.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mission 137 is a giant kaiju fight with giant mechs. It's hilarious.
So I did get the number right. I was like, apparently 137 is really good. I was just pulling that number out of my ass. I was right.
Yeah, that was actually the number. Yeah, it was.
Fuck yes.
I had such a shit-eating grin on my face. It was so good.
I'd say the main new thing I've been playing has been SteamWorld Heist 2, the surprising sequel to SteamWorld Heist 1. Who saw it coming? I didn't, and I was super excited because I love SteamWorld Heist. SteamWorld Heist 2 is a similar type of side-scrolling XCOM meets Peggle type game again, and it's great. The new twist here is that it's sort of like a seafaring adventure. The last one kind of took place in space. You were kind of going around like a galaxy map, like nodes on a thing. You were kind of stopping by bars but going to missions and whatnot, boss fights. But it was very like Mario Galaxy 2, if you will, if you recall. This you're in a boat / submarine, and you have this world that you're kind of sailing around, and that's kind of how everything is connected. And except now your ship has also like its own upgrades, and there's combat outside of your normal SteamWorld Heist combat, which is like the meat of the game, obviously, and this is just sort of a new way to kind of connect everything. But the actual like ship combat is actually like pretty fun. It's a little. I don't want to invoke like Vampire Survivors or anything, but it is. Your weapons do kind of like fire automatically, and they are like positional. So it's all about kind of like timing your weapon and its reloads with kind of like your position with the enemy. So you're kind of like trying to like flank them and like maybe like spin around and drift around because the cannons on the other side or the guns may have reloaded, and then kind of flip around to the front because your torpedo's ready to go. It's light, but it's fun, and there's upgrades tied to it, and it's compelling. I feel like this developer knows how to make a really compelling like loop and a compelling like upgrade, like a good carrot on a stick sort of like upgrade
good
system.
Carrots.
Yeah, good carrots on a stick. You went on the string. You know what I'm talking about, damn it. And in terms of like the main like XCOM-y gameplay, like the moment to moment is like similar to the first game, but like I feel like they went all out with like the class building. I mean, the first one had classes, but now like there's so many like more like the classes have these extensive skill trees, and you unlock slots to like pick and choose skills from other that you've learned from like other skill trees, and like the weapons have like so much there's like a lot of variety to the weapons and item slots that you can equip on a character, and you can find like rare versions of weapons that have like very unique effects and unique takes on that weapon. And it really does lead to this feeling of like really creating these builds and these team compositions that do like these very specific things, and it's just a really fun like style of gameplay. Like they because like XCOM, it's like pretty easy to like put yourself in a situation where you can get fucked up pretty easily, and like there's like an alarm system or whatever that's like constantly pushing you forward, so you can't like dilly dally and like play it safe. Sometimes you just kind of have to push into the second level of your movement where you don't get to do an action, right? Because you got to get to a place, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, because it's very cover based like XCOM.
Right.
Chris Davis knows what I'm talking about. You play a little bit of XCOM, Nick.
I did play a little bit of XCOM.
You kind of have a range where like your first like range you can like maybe like move and get into cover and actually like take a shot, but then you have like your sprinting range or whatever. Like the levels can be quite sprawling with like multiple objectives, and sometimes you got to take risks like that, and it's pretty easy to get blown up. But then just like the lining of the shots and I'm gonna line up perfectly and hopefully I'm gonna get a headshot, or I'm just gonna like barely miss, but I'm gonna shoot their hat off, which becomes a collectible, which is always.
That looks immensely satisfying, but that was in the first one, right?
It is, and it's like because there's like it is in the first one because there's like stakes to this. Like maybe you haven't played the first one, or do you remember like Invisible Ink, Nick? How like the longer you played, you stayed in a stage, like the level would get higher and higher, and it would get more and more intense. You're like, oh, I got to get the fuck out of here because shit's getting crazy. That's how missions in this game are like, and so like I've come across, because I feel like I don't know if the hats aren't random necessarily, but I've come across a couple of instances where there's been a really good cowboy hat that I wanted, but I couldn't like make it happen. I didn't have enough time.
So you're just spending all your effort trying to shoot this guy's hat off?
Yeah, I didn't have enough time to fuck around and like intentionally miss a shot. You know what I mean? I am playing on like a harder difficulty. There's actually a lot of like really customizable options in terms of difficulty to kind of find like what the right vibe you want. But I really kind of like how mine's set at, because I always feel like I'm just barely kind of getting through while still kind of getting all the stuff and not having my dudes like be destroyed in a mission. But like it's fun, and it's like it still feels very unique, right? Because like the last one came out like fucking 10 years ago or some shit, and like 10 years later, like I still feel like nothing feels like this, and it's cool. And like the music is so good. Like the vibe's good, the look is nice, but the music, man, they have this
always
band
great in these games, right?
They have this band called, I don't know what they're called, but like the band is actually in the game as like robots, and this band like also performs as like painted robots like in real life or something. But anyways, and they're in the game. What is the band called? They're in the game, like, and when you go to the bars, it plays like these songs from them, and it's like fucking good. Like it's like it feels too good for this game, which is a really good game.
Cantina levels of good, or
like just playing fucking bangers. Like I'm gonna download this shit on fucking Spotify or whatever, because I'm gonna listen to this when I'm driving to work or something. It's like it's good shit. It's like it feels too good for this silly little robot game, which is weird. No one knows what I'm talking about. What are they called? They're called like Space Giraffe or some shit.
Space Giraffe.
Space Giraffe. I mean, they're not like a band that you would have like heard of or anything. I don't know. Is this like
someone in chat must know? Space Giraffe sounds familiar.
No, I mean, I don't know.
Space Giraffe was a 2007 Xbox Live Arcade game.
By
Jeff Minter. Okay.
Yeah, that's a Jeff Minter game.
Soft. Yeah.
No. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, that explains why it sounds familiar then.
What are they called? Steam Powered Giraffe. Sorry. Steam Powered Giraffe is the name of the band. They made music for this game and it's really good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like super addictive, super fun. Just like highly recommend. Just a really good time. Even if you never played the first one, it doesn't matter. It's not that kind of.
I actually picked up the first one because it was like $3. It was on sale for like $3.
Yeah,
a while back.
I mean, just play this one, I guess, if you want to play something new, because it's not like you need to play the first one first or anything.
But
the
builds get pretty exciting, though, right?
Huh?
The builds get pretty exciting, though, right?
The builds. This is a pun. What am I not catching here?
No, like with your characters, like how you spec them out with XP and their skills and stuff like that.
Oh, the builds. Yeah. It's very exciting. Like just a good skills, good skill tree. You see stuff. You're like, oh, I can't wait to get that because it's gonna make my sniper so much fucking better. And like you have a lot of options in combat in any given turn, which I feel like that makes a good strategy game where you're really kind of pushed to the limit, but you have a lot of like choices. So it's not like you're kind of doing the same thing. Like it's good. It's really.
Is it Steam Powered Giraffe?
Steam Powered Giraffe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just said it.
Unorthodox in chat mentioned a story about listening to a song from Steam Powered Giraffe after a breakup. I was just wondering if that was the.
That's what I'm saying. Like the music feels like good.
It's breakup music. Is that your pitch? It's breakup music.
No. It's just I'm like yeah. I don't know. It just feels too good for a little game.
They got great vibes. I listened to it after my divorce. Anyways,
but yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So it's been fun. It's been super fun, and it's not the only thing I've been playing. I've been also playing some Thrasher, which is a new VR game from people worked on Thumper. Now there's
this thing.
Thrasher. And let me tell you, like, I'll say this. This is like footage I recorded off my headset. It's not gonna, and I want to be very clear that you're not gonna get much from watching this versus
gonna blow your skirt
what
off.
it's like. Yeah. What it's like in VR. For a couple.
I feel like we have to say that before everything we show on here. That's VR.
No.
I mean, especially something like this, maybe, I guess.
Especially something like this, because I feel like when you're watching, like, you play your fucking Horizon game, like, you get it, right? Like, oh, you're climbing, you understand what VR is like. You're like, oh, that's probably pretty fun, or whatever. You mean, like that Batman thing or whatever, right?
Right.
But here, this is something. Are y'all familiar with Thumper at all? It's kind of like a music and rhythm game.
Yeah,
they call it a rhythm violence game, but it's sort of like a lane based. Like you have this like fucking chrome beetle like flying through like this colorful space, like some
with like almost oppressive
album cover or some shit, and like you're slamming against the walls. It's all presentation, right? But one of the really cool things about that game was just like like the cool like psychedelic or just like very like colorful in colors and chrome and space, and you get to these bosses that are like the size of mountains and stuff, and it's just fucking cool vibes, cool music, cool game. And this has similar energy, right? And it's funny because this is like the first level I'm on that's like white like this, and again, kind of hard to convey in this video footage. But one of the things that you super can't convey, at a first glance, this is kind of like I don't know how to describe it. Jesus, this is crazy. So kind of take something like a Geometry Wars or whatever. Actually, take something like a Geometry Wars. But you steer like with my hand or whatever. Like I have a big like snake that follows it around. Like anywhere I move, like the snake is whoosh, whoosh, kind of following me. And in these levels, I'm trying to like hit things or like destroy things and evade other things, and then after a certain like segment, it kind of scores you and you move on to the next part of the stage. It's very like a kind of a fast moving go like kind of a score based thing, and then at the end of the level you get to like a boss fight, and then like there's like maybe like 3 parts of like a main stage which has like this aesthetic where you're kind of running into this boss again, and it ends in like the final boss fight with that thing. And again, on a flat video, it's really hard to convey like the sensation that the game is pulling off here. And one of the things that is really impressive about Thumper was that sense of scale. Like when you would you just be like see like this pitch black monolith off in the distance, or like a crazy like boss would come out of a fucking black hole or something, and it'd be the boss fight. And it's that sense of scale that was so impressive. And you would think that, oh well, can you pull that off in a game that is almost like borderline Geometry Wars like esque? And and the answer is yes. And the why it works, you're never going to get watching this footage, especially if you're watching on stream. It's that when you start a stage, the stuff is like feels like it's like 3 feet in front of you, like almost like you have a little like geometry wars like level and just right in front of you, almost like you could reach out and touch it. But every time you progress to like you see my score pop up, it starts to get further and further away. Further and further away, like as you progress through the stage. And by the time you're like near the end of a stage, it's like it's like enormous. You're looking up and all around, and your snake, which was like this little thing in front of you, is now like the size of a fucking building. And again, you're never going to know what that looks and feels like and how awesome that feels watching this footage, especially, or even a trailer that's like well produced and edited. But it is so cool in VR, like
That sounds neat.
absolutely sick. But you're never gonna know watching a trailer. It's just something you got to try. And so like and the music is on point, and like the look is on point. I'll eventually get to a boss. Actually, can you scrub ahead a little bit, because I have a
Yeah.
second stage that is much darker, which is actually what the most of the I think a boss is coming up. Maybe you'll see it here in a second. Well, whatever. Skip a little bit more. And this is just another stage, because most stages are actually really dark, kind of like a Beat Saber level or something. And again, God, looking at a flat version of this on my phone, it looks like tragically terrible. but in
God,
VR,
it's like dog shit.
in VR, it's like kind of wonderful. It is such like a kind of a unique little arcadey style game, but with like, the vibes and the music and the look in VR and the sense of scale. The sense of scale is what's so impressive. And as it gets like larger and larger and larger, and it's really fun. Here's the crazy part. Well, it's only $20. I feel like everything in the world is like fucking $35 minimum. I feel like in the world of games, like indie games are getting more and more expensive, especially VR games. VR games are so expensive, and they almost never go on sale. So to be able to like just open up the Quest store or whatever and have it just be $20 is like super nice. So I kind of recommend it for that price alone. But I will say that this game is like, I am not good at this game. And like when I get to an end of a stage, it shows like leaderboards, and like the further I get into this game, like I'm hitting like the top 50 really easily. Like my little piss ant like first playthrough of a stage score is in like the top 50, and I'm getting like B, which I feel like until like the most recent stage I'm on felt like the absolute worst I could get as a score. Like I've seen B, A, S plus. B is what I've gotten almost every single time until I actually died on like stage 4 in these stages, or like world 4 or whatever. And I'm like doing pretty good on the leaderboards. To me, that's a sign that like, oh my God, nobody is buying this game. And that's sad to me, because I mean, what does that say for like VR? That like a cool new VR thing that's like not super expensive, from the creators of, Thumper, like, which Thumper is a game that a lot of people didn't play in VR. I did play it entirely in VR with my PSVR back in the day. Super cool game to experience in VR. Even though it wasn't even necessarily like designed only for that. And this game actually is going to come out in a no, that's not true. It's coming to like Steam later, and you can play it with a controller, but I would not ever play this with a controller. This feels like it's too vibey. You want to be steering the snake.
You want to be immersed.
Yeah, you want to be immersed. I don't know. I'm sad that that's not doing better. Like, and I'm not like shaming like you people. I'm shaming like the people who like live and die by VR, because like I feel like those assholes should be buying this in droves, because like of course VR is not going to make it if you're not even buying your own fucking VR games, because fuck you.
I mean, the
don't know.
entirety
Look at this.
Opening
This is
Night
a
Live
boss,
had
by the
one
way.
game.
Look at this tiny little head and my tiny little snake. You get no sense of how big it is in the game. It's actually crazy. But it's so fun just moving that snake around. It looks so good too. The things that the colors are doing, it's like, you know, I get the feelings that I got when like the first time I played Rez. And honestly, Thumper kind of gave me those feelings, but like that is such a powerful feeling in VR. Like Rez is a game that I feel like came out like 20 or like 10 years before it was supposed to, because I feel like that game should have existed in VR before it ever did.
Right.
And by the way, Rez is amazing in VR. Yeah,
the
this
way
game
I
is cool. Like,
apologize.
if you have,
I forgot to make an overlay for this, and people are asking what it's called. It's called
oh,
Thrasher.
it's called Thrasher. I have a Quest 2. You can get it for Quest 2. Obviously, if you have a Quest 3, you can get it for that too. But I don't know. I think it's only on Quest and Meta, like the Meta headsets and Apple right now. But it is coming to like Steam and other stuff later this year, I believe.
And I imagine
thumbs up from me. It's super cool. It's super cool. Just to
you
for the
imagine
look
what?
and the sounds alone. It's so
I'm
awesome.
certain you could jailbreak it.
Probably.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Thrasher. It's neat.
Sweet. Looks cool. It's certainly kind of in line with what they're known for.
Maybe I made it sound cool.
It sounds cool.
Does not
looks like
look
dog shit. Yeah, this
my little square
right
ratio like perspective. I didn't know what it was going to look like when I recorded it from just the headset, but
bad.
You could probably make it not this resolution or ratio, you know. But
what was the headset you were using, by the way?
Quest 2.
Quest 2.
Quest 2. Okay, sorry.
Chris Davis, do you want to say anything else about EDF?
I play Beat Saber all the time, Wall Crawl. What the fuck does that mean? Love Beat Saber.
Chris Davis, anything you want to throw in there about EDF 6 that you haven't already mentioned?
It's just a fun time. I'm playing through the campaign again right on the next higher difficulty level and getting my ass kicked right now, but the thing about that game is that like it just keeps giving you new weapons, new equipment, and they keep leveling up constantly. It's a drip feed, but the minute you find a new exciting weapon, you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be fucking awesome for the next 30 levels. And then
did I see you've been playing this with like community members
at
all, or
not
just
really
talking
community
about
members?
It with people?
I kind of just been doing kind of pseudo matchmaking.
Gotcha.
The game's really.
You've been playing with randos?
Yeah.
Because I guess that's the power of EDF. Like it's so simple and straightforward, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
You don't need to know anybody.
You really don't. Like honestly,
have
like I have not had a bad experience. None of the randos I've played with have been any problem whatsoever. They're usually far better than I am. And it's also, you have to realize that this game came out in Japan last year. So the West is only getting to it. So when I run into clearly Japanese players who have like, you have to realize this is a game that has like 146 missions across 5 difficulty modes. And the game encourages you to beat the game essentially 20 times to 100% it.
Only crazy people would do that, Chris Davis.
Yeah, but then I run into people who have like 50, 60% completion. And I just think about the fucking amount of time that requires. It's insane, crazy. But it's also really cool to just be kind of carried by these amazing players who have so much badass weaponry.
So you're saying you're summoning on all your boss fights? I mean, did you even really play the game, Chris Davis? What the fuck?
Don't answer that. He's baiting you.
I will take that bait, and I will say that for every Elden Ring boss, I at least tried once or twice alone.
That's
Otherwise,
the way to do it.
I did summon quite a bit.
That's the way to do it.
I feel no shame because it's a tool the developers gave me.
Dang, you didn't have to go all that. I was just joking.
I took the bait and I was fucking going for it because fuck that conversation.
Yep. Well, you're engaging in it. Okay, let's move on. I'm not gonna. Whatever. I've been playing Bioshock 2. Don't ask me why. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. You don't have to roll footage of it or anything. That's just kind of what I've spent a lot of my time over the past week. I was traveling this past weekend, and I needed.
Does that feel like a bad choice? You made it sound like you regretted that choice.
No. I mean, I played Bioshock 1 earlier this year. I mean, I set out to kind of replay the series because it's been so long. And honestly, I wanted to do it for a number of reasons. One, I wanted to try to encourage the universe to give me a sequel to Bioshock, which we all know is coming. But I was like hoping like today was the day that we were finally going to get an announcement for Bioshock 4, and of course it didn't happen. But I wanted to replay the series, and two, I wanted to play the series again now that I have now played through System Shock, the remake of System Shock, and just kind of see the differences because there are obviously a lot of them. And I really enjoyed my time with the first one, and I'm playing this second one right now. I had just so much I had forgotten about the second one, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I forgot that you play as a Big Daddy in the second one, which is kind of cool.
That's honestly the only thing I remember about Bioshock 2.
I remember liking Bioshock 2 a lot. Couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about the story after, it's been so long. But I remember Minerva's Den being some of the best DLC I've ever played. So I wanted to get to that and play that again. So I'm going to do that after I finish it. I'm almost done with
Minerva's
the
Den
base
is
game.
better on the whole than the entirety of Bioshock 2.
Right. But with that said, I'm enjoying Bioshock 2. It is having played the remake of System Shock now, it makes me realize, fuck, I want Bioshock 4 to like lean into System Shock more than Bioshock. Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite, I think are great. But like, if you want to like bring the series back, do something wild and like lean into the System Shock systems and RPG systems and stuff, because System Shock isn't coming back. I don't think, because now that System Shock 3 probably isn't happening, or it's in limbo or something, when the next Shock game comes out, I feel like it needs to lean closer to classic System Shock, because damn, that was such a good remake, such a good game. And Bioshock just on the whole is just so much shallower. Still a really cool game, just so much shallower. So
yeah, the biggest flaw of Bioshock 2 is the big sister. How they just completely nerfed what that character was supposed to be and misused her.
I don't even remember a lot of that stuff. But she's
the loop in Bioshock 2 with the big sister is that you rescue or kill all the little sisters in a level, and she spawns in and attacks you. Well, the original intention of that character was to be like a Resident Evil 2 remake Mr. X that roams the level and attacks you.
Instead of being as predictable as it ultimately ended up being. I mean, for me, I'm playing it now. I'm just like, she's kind of a cool addition to like the lore of it and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But mechanically speaking, nothing crazy. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that I needed something on my Steam Deck while I was traveling, and I didn't want to buy something new because I'm spending a lot of money. I'll talk about it on my 4-player minute, but I've been spending a lot of money lately, so I was like, I'm not going to buy a new game right this second. So I ended up I'll just play the next game in the Bioshock series because I can knock that out pretty quick, which I am doing. And yeah, that's and I dove back into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Forgot to mention that. But
where are you at?
I'm in Cosmo Canyon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that area kind of sucks.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm doing the trials thing right now. I think I just did the thing where Red 13 learns the truth about his father and all that stuff.
How do you feel about Nanaki?
How do I feel about him?
The reveal.
Yeah.
I mean,
his voice.
Okay, I feel like I may not be far enough yet because.
Okay, then let it cook. He'll know.
You didn't get to Cosmo Canyon yet? The fuck? Wait, you already got to the part with his father?
Are you talking about the old guy, the floating old? That's Bugenhagen.
Nanaki, dude. Red 13. Red 13's voice.
Oh, yes, that was shocking.
Okay, all right.
Sorry, yeah. I forgot
Are you
about
cool with
that.
that? Because it's like that for the rest of the game.
Not a fan.
What a
I-
terrible
Not really a fan.
design choice.
I
mean,
was
terrible
initially-
creative choice.
I was initially turned off, but I
And
kind of
continued
came
to be
around
turned
on
off.
it.
Bullshit.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry,
fucking
it's
stupid.
been about a week since I played it, and it took me a hot
Damn.
second. I was out of town. I literally.
I was talking to David about it, and I was like, "Oh, it pissed me off so much." And he got to it. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know."
Oh,
he's playing in Japanese, so like, I mean, I don't know what it's. I know it sounds different to him, but it's probably not the same effect as it is.
I mean, that wasn't
English.
a bit. That wasn't a bit from the original game, if I don't remember. Like,
No,
right?
it's not in
I know,
the original fucking game.
No. I know it's not voice acted in the original game, but like, they could still kind of suggest that his voice changed.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
If you do like a little suggestion, right? It doesn't matter because like it's not voiced and it's not like he's written differently either.
I'm just saying,
it's like
this was a completely
insane,
original.
The difference, like his combat barks are different. Like everything is, it's a completely different character, and I fucking hate it. But we'll talk more about that in our spoiler cast.
Well, apparently we're gonna. Apparently, Brad and I are gonna do. Or well, Chris Davis, you finished it too, didn't you?
I finished for everyone. I will be there.
We're apparently gonna do a spoiler cast for this game, which I don't know how I feel about.
Can we do it before December?
Yes. David is the impetus for this. He really wants to do this.
He's talking shit, saying that Nick's gonna take forever to finish. I think he's already done or almost done.
No, I mean, I'm in Cosmo. Oh, you mean David? Yeah.
David.
I don't know where he stands, but yeah, that's what's going on in my world right now. So, unless y'all have any objections, we can wrap up with the 4-player minute. We good?
He was supposed to sound like a kid. I mean, what are you talking about, Raucus? He was supposed to sound like a kid. He's supposed to sound like the voice inside my head when I played that game in the 90s. And let me tell you, it didn't go from like cool, mysterious bio lab dog to literal fucking baby, literal child going, "Oh, good job, buddy." Like it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I can't even use that character in battle. Like after that, I couldn't even do it.
They did us
like,
a little
for a while,
dirty.
I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, what was going on?
It's not as bad as Chadley. Nothing can be worse than Chadley.
Yeah, well, Chadley, I just started.
Chadley just talks too much. Okay, just in
The
general,
problem is Chadley exists.
That is actually kind of true. All right,
okay.
4-player minute, Brad. Go.
I'll just do like a quick fantasy critic recap for myself, at least, because I feel like my thing has changed a lot since we last podcasted. I went from like last place to technically I'm in first, actually.
You have the most on the board as far as releases, right?
No, me and you have the same amount of releases. The thing is, so you're at 84 right now, and I'm at 78. But yours doesn't take into account your -7. That's not going to show up to the end of the year. So technically, in terms of points, I'm in first. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because my counter is showing.
Here's the thing. I'm almost always looking at my own spreadsheet, so
yeah.
I've already taken it into account.
So the thing is, a lot of my games, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Brad, what you're doing so badly?" And I'm like, "Look, my games are just not out yet. You just got to wait. The current points and the projected points don't matter. The reason the projected points especially don't matter is because not only do they overvalue AAA and like super undervalue indie games, like indie games are almost always like 3 points max, while like Space Marine 2 is going to get like an 89 according to predictions or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's also like with a not release, everything in general is like undervalued until it comes out, because a game is almost always going to make more points than it's predicted. Like for whatever reason, a non-release game is really lowballed in terms of the score. So like what I'm saying is projected scores don't actually mean anything. And as soon as games start coming out, like your predicted points start to skyrocket. Here's the thing. So yeah, I had a lot of games come out, like a Ranger came out. It's up to an 81 now. I mean, it was like an Indica situation where
it clawed itself
kind
out
of
of
crawled
the depths.
out of the depths. Right. The most recent one is I picked up, and it has since released, Tactical Breach Wizards. Currently at 86. That's
Nice.
the new
Fuck
game
me
from
dead. I don't have that one
the
marked down.
the
86.
Gunpoint developer.
Fuck.
Gunpoint developer.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to play it. Comes out this week.
I'm really
or
glad
it
that
is
that's
out.
doing well. Good.
Yeah. SteamWorld Heist and World of Goo I also picked up. Those are recent ones that they're both at 82. And still have the ones from earlier. So like in terms of like my scoring games, and I think the games coming out, like I'm pretty happy. Here's my thing. Silksong is a problem. So I do have that Mario game. So I have the unannounced Mario game, and I have Silksong, and I want to kind of explain the situation I'm in, because my roster's full, but it's not technically full. The first thing I'm scared about is Space Marine 2, because when I bet against it, it was like in January, it was just some Saber game that we didn't know much about.
Now there's been 25 trailers.
There's been 20 more trailers and preview events, and people are getting really excited, and maybe Saber's finally going to put out a critical hit, which is fuck me. It's gonna be bad, right? I hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully it stays around like a fucking 79, 80, but it's looking like it might be a little higher. We'll see. I mean, never doubt their ability to fuck something up server side. So
you haven't used your super drop yet, have you? Or did you?
No, well, super drops. You're talking about my free drop.
Oh,
super drops are done. Yeah. Super
you
drops
did use your super drop, okay?
Yeah. Like Mina the Hollower, which.
But they got to they've got.
So here's the thing. It's Silksong and Mario. So we have unlimited will not release drops, and then I still have my free drop.
But they got to say something.
The issue I'm having is, so here's the thing. Silksong could still come out. Like, absolutely. Now, every time one of these showcases happen, like today, and it's not there, everyone's like into the world, right? And it's a big meme. But like, there's still a lot of signs pointing to the fact that Silksong could very easily still come out this year. That is a game that doesn't need a showcase because it's too big, and even when it does finally pop up again, it's not going to be like, oh, we're coming out 6 months from now. Like, that's the type of game that could be like, and it's out like in a couple of weeks, right? Like, it doesn't need a long marketing buildup or anything. It's not that situation. It's not that kind of game. So like, it absolutely could. Also,
it could.
I could see like another Nintendo Direct happening, like a Nindies or whatever, in September. In fact, some of that's already rumored even for this month. Like, it could easily show up at one of those and be out in a week, a month, a couple months. We have time. The thing is, if it doesn't ship, Team Cherry has a habit of not saying anything. So if they don't say anything, I will not release drop it. But the thing is, I've been holding on to my free drop for Mario. The reason I have not used it yet is because there's also a chance that Nintendo could reveal the Switch 2. And again, these were choices I made in January. And let me tell you, Silksong, an unannounced Switch 2 game, sounded like great pickups. Yeah. Obviously, it's August now, and it's a lot scarier. But even with Nintendo, they could absolutely reveal the Switch 2, have a Mario game in it, and it becomes a will not release drop. In which case, I would save the free drop for Silksong. So best case scenario is Silksong comes out, and I just drop Mario and replace it with something else. Or best case scenario is I get a free drop on Mario because they announced that too, or whatever. But things are starting to get really scary, and it might end up in a situation where I'm stuck with one of those, and that's a problem.
It could be. If
Silksong comes out this year, then like if we get a date, then I think at this point I'm the front runner. Even if Space Marine 2 scores better than it should, Silksong, because don't forget I got Astrobot coming too. Silksong is gonna be a 90.
Yeah,
plus.
Astrobot
has a chance of hitting 90, and the rest of my stuff is all 80 plus. It's pretty strong. I think I have a chance to maybe clinch this, but Silksong has to come out. So I don't know. It's looking more and more dire.
I'm gonna say it, Brad. I don't think it's coming, and I don't think they're gonna say.
But
shit
see,
about
that's
that.
what everyone says. But in reality, there's no reason to be this pessimistic outside of the meme. I mean, Team Cherry's very quiet. So somebody on the Fantasy Critic Discord, SNES dude, he does like an insane amount of research. Like, sicko mode is an understatement for this man. He does like research. Like he took like 3 major games in
he's like mugging
release
people
this
in
year, and he did
like...
he did an audit. He did an audit on OpenCritic to see. He checked like on major games with like 100 reviews. He did this with Rebirth. He did it with Yakuza. He went to make sure like every single website that should have been on there isn't on there. Every single score isn't on there accurately. He broke down every single thing and did like an audit of that. And let me tell you, OpenCritic's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. They do mistakes. They don't post reviews. Sometimes they post the review. Like I have a SteamWorld Heist 8 that's supposed to be a 9 that I've been emailing them to fix. Like this is supposed to be a 9, not an 8. What the fuck are you doing? They just ignore that stuff. So it's a problem. But anyways, he offered some information about Silksong. I'll say this and then I'll move on. I know it's long. I'm running long. So he said nuggets of hope evidence in 2024 for Silksong. March 17th, 2024, fan bumps into Leth at Day of the Devs. He says Silksong is definitely before Crowsworn. Now, this is Crowsworn is a Hollow Knight like knockoff. Like it, I don't know if you remember Crowsworn. Look it up. It like looks so much like Hollow Knight, but at the same time also looks really good. That's been like the whole thing with Crowsworn. Anyways, he said, Silksong is definitely before Crowsworn. Also, Crowsworn has a 2024 date right now. I don't know if it's going to hit 2024, but at the very least, that suggests that it's not like something that's like super far away.
This can't be legal.
April 1st of 2024.
Fuck.
April 1st of 20, and this is the stuff that more people know. April 1st of 2024, new Microsoft Store page is made. ESBR rating is added. This was in April. April 3rd, 2024, Silksong gets several age ratings. June 6th, 2024, Hollow Knight gets a free trial in Europe for NSO. That's really kind of all he had to say. But like with the ratings board and the fact that the more time goes on, if you actually believe that it isn't vaporware, which no sensible person outside of the meme is actually saying this game is not coming out, like the more time goes on, the more you have to believe that it's more likely that this game is just gonna come out. So all I'm saying, I mean, it's rated. I'm keeping up hopes that that it comes out. I mean, there is like the concern, are they actually going to try to port off of Unity because it is developed in Unity?
Yeah.
That is a very real thing. That could really push a game back. It would explain the delay, could explain why they're quiet. Or did they make a new with Nintendo and they're waiting for like a Switch 2 launch because that would be fucking enormous, right? We'll see. We'll see. Or an Xbox. Is there a new Xbox coming out this year? Like a model or anything?
Not that I'm
Is
aware
Microsoft going to do anything else?
The
Any
only
sort of
thing,
like indie event, Xbox.
I mean, there's the
indies?
Game Awards.
The Game Awards is too late. I can't hold on a game till December. When does the Game Awards? Now, if it's a shadow drop at the Game Awards, there's a very good chance that I end up using my free drop on Mario and just going down with the ship on Silksong. Because of the potential of a shadow drop at the Game Awards is not zero. Remember, Game Awards they shadow dropped Hades, the first Hades, remember? Like, it's not unheard of. And like people have joked about it. Hi-Fi Rush was a big deal, their shadow drop, right? Like there's a not zero chance that Game Awards shadow drops Silksong. I need that game. I might go down with the ship. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, that was the longest 4-player minute, but also you're right. We didn't really talk much about Fantasy Critics, so that's fair. Chris Davis, final thought for the week.
I want to split my final thought into two parts. The first one, on a downer note, unfortunately, today we lost Atsuko Tanaka. She is the Japanese voice actress most well known for
Ghost in the Shell.
Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, but y'all otherwise might know her as the voice actress for Bayonetta in Japan. So,
oh shit, I didn't realize that.
She was 61. Yeah. Really sucks.
Oof. Rest in peace. That sucks.
But on a
she was Kaine from Nier. I'm assuming in Japan.
Yeah. She was prolific. She did a lot of work. On a happier note, Rafael Colantano, who is one of the founding members of now I'm blanking the fucking game. Arcane.
He also
Arcane
died.
Studios.
We didn't like him.
No, we like Raph. Rafael Colantano, he left Arcane back in 2017, and he founded a studio called Wolf Eye. Their first game was in 2019, 2020. It was a little game called Weird West. It was published by Devolver Digital. I don't know that much about it. It's actually 2022, sorry. And it did all right. But over the past several weeks, he and Wolf Eye have been teasing their new project. And he started by basically tweeting out, hey, if you liked my previous immersive sim games, you're really going to like this. This is the guy who's responsible for Dishonored and Prey 2017. So
I like both of those games a lot.
both really fucking...
He was on Prey?
Yeah. He was, he handled, he was involved in it, definitely. So they are at Gamescom right now, pitching the game, demoing it, a vertical slice to
And Mick
publishers.
Gordon is doing the music for this. Thank you,
And
Bog
Mick
Noise in
Gordon
chat.
is doing the music for it. And there are some offhand, kind of blurry pictures of a television showing off first-person gunplay. And honestly, I'm getting pretty fucking excited. Oh my goodness.
I am excited for this too, but I would really like to know what it
Well,
is.
what is your conclusion you're drawing here?
They have released a atmospheric teaser, which makes it look like
Doesn't tell you much.
It doesn't tell you much, but it looks like a little bit of a Wild West kind of thing, similar to Weird West. And between that and their background making Dishonored and Prey 2017, like
Dishonored plus Prey plus Wild West.
So a Wild West immersive sim, Weird West immersive sim.
Yeah. In the
Weird
in the
West
vein
was like
of
a
Dishonored.
pretty like basic action game, right?
Well, I don't think this is actually related to Weird West. It's just that's their first game. And
No,
this
I
happens
know.
to be
I
another.
just mean like their first foray was like the opposite of a deep game, right?
Yeah, I mean it was a top-down action RPG thing. It wasn't.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
You
you're
may be thinking of Hard West.
No, not Hard West.
There's so many
It's like an
Wests.
XCOM game.
Are
Yeah,
you thinking about Desperados 3?
No, that was Mimimi.
No, there was another West game that was like Evil West. I'm
West?
thinking of Evil West. Okay.
Yeah.
They just gotta whatever this game is, even if it's like the Wild West, they need to not put the word West in it.
It needs to be different. Yeah.
They just need
Weird West was decent, I heard, right? Not like crazy or anything.
Yeah,
but like kind of neat.
it did good
Okay.
reviews, from my understanding.
Yeah, I heard it was neat. Evil West. Okay, it wasn't making sense when I was thinking it was Evil West as their first game. This makes more sense. Okay, yeah.
Very cool.
There was some immersive semi stuff in Weird West as well.
There was, yeah, but I think it was probably pretty light considering that was their first.
Oh, don't
title.
forget about Blood West.
Well,
Blood West. Yeah, I can't
we don't
forget
talk about Blood West. So, anyway, super hyped for this. I really, really, really hope that they show off the vertical slice soon, because, God.
Or at least give us a title for the game and like maybe a
Where's
pitch.
Judas? How come Judas isn't at Gamescom?
I mean,
I think
don't
last
need
time he
to
talked about Judas, I think he said it was a ways off.
it's still at least a year off, at least. And like they had a preview event with journalists coming out to play several hours of the game, like
I remember
3-4 months ago, something like that. So,
Which is better than nothing, but
that was the only time we
ways.
heard about it. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
You should go out and listen to some of those podcasts that were talking about. Like,
I did.
experiencing it.
Don't ever tell Brad to do his research. He's always doing research.
Yeah, I did. I know. I remember you were losing your mind. I remember we talked about it.
I
To
was
be
listening.
fair, I was kind of losing my mind too. Why do you think I started playing BioShock?
Yeah.
All right, so for my 4-player
Forbidden
minute,
West.
I'll also kind of split it into two. One, I saw Alien Romulus over the weekend, and that was pretty exciting.
I watched
went to Colorado for a couple days to visit family, and ended up going to a draft house in Westminster, Colorado, and watching it on like an enormous. They have like an enormous theater, but with like great. I forgot what they call it. 4D sound or whatever, I don't know, but it was cool. Great movie, loved it. But it also kind of made me start thinking about like I mean, it made me want to replay Alien Isolation, but I feel like more importantly, maybe I should focus on a game that I haven't played yet. And I was like, maybe it's time I need to play Alien Dark Descent.
Yeah.
Or Aliens Dark Descent.
Yeah. It's a fun
so I'm
game.
thinking that maybe if I can find time for it, which probably is not going to happen, but that's something that's on my mind. And Aliens is fresh on my mind. So like, I kind of want
a VR game coming out soon.
I want to, and that
it's
VR
called
game,
Rogue Incursion.
Rogue Incursion, which I'm definitely going to have my eye on because that looks like if they pull that up, that could be really fucking cool. So yeah, a lot of Alien stuff going on right now, and it's kind of fresh in my mind. So I kind of want to strike while the iron is hot and play it while I'm like thinking about it. But obviously, a lot of stuff's happening. On the other side of this, I mentioned earlier, it was time to upgrade certain parts of my PC. Chris Davis was once again kind enough to help me pick out some parts. And I officially have them all in, and hopefully Chris Davis is going to come help me install them soon because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, more or less, it kind of came down to my system. The system I have now is kind of bottlenecking my GPU, not getting the most out of it.
I had no idea. I thought you had like a fresh build, like much more recent.
I built it in 2020, but the parts.
Why is your CPU so old?
I don't know. It probably came down to just what my budget was at the time. So
the specs you gave me were for a 6700K. That CPU came out in like 2015.
Yeah, were you giving him info from your previous build?
It didn't me? No. I literally was. Don't worry. I gave him the right stuff.
You looked on your computer and not
yes,
like
I looked on my PC.
List?
I looked on my PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna upgrade that. I mean, it's mostly. I am gonna be playing Wukong, but more importantly, Stalker 2 is fresh on my mind, and I want to be ready for that because that game just looks absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to get lost in that world. So I figured it was time.
Well, if you end up streaming some Wukong, be sure not to talk about the feminist propaganda or any fetishes you have.
If I stream Black Myth Wukong, I'm going to title my stream "Feminist Propaganda," and like that's it. Just I almost wish somebody could put "Feminist Propaganda" as like a game in the Twitch library, so I could like pick it when I'm streaming. But
set the topic to just chatting. And then feminist propaganda. There you go.
Yeah.
Your processor can't be that old. That's crazy.
But anyways, exciting stuff. So looking forward to that. And that's so Black Myth Wukong is kind of like the first in a series of dominoes that are about to start falling for me in September because we got Star Wars Outlaws in 10 days, Space Marine 2, Astrobot, now the Plucky Squire, and then towards the end of the month, Zelda.
Tactical Breach Wizards.
Dude, there's so much stuff. I'm so excited. Games are really starting to fall for me, and I think September is going to be a lot of fun for as far as playing games and especially talking about them because there's going to be a ton to talk about in September. But that's for September. Now this is the end of our show, guys. Thank you. You've made it to the end of another episode. Thank you so much for listening. We record these podcasts every single Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch and YouTube. We usually get started at 8 p.m. with trailer talk. We watch trailers for 30 to 40 minutes together, and then we sit down, hit record, and start talking. So if you're interested, join us there at twitch.tv/4Player podcast, all spelled out. You can also find all of our podcast episodes over at 4playernetwork.com or on your preferred podcast service. But most importantly, if you're not in our Discord, we'd love to have you join us at discord.gg/4player. We're hanging out there all the time, talking about games, talking about movies, all the good stuff. And best of all, it's free. So we'd love to have you there. But that's all we got for you tonight. We'll see you next Tuesday for another episode. In the meantime, guys, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.
Bye.
What episode is this?
806.
806.
The zip code for Lubbock. The area code for Lubbock.
Wow, Chris Davis, what the fuck? You're
Nerd.
a cool
Well,
guy.
I was in Lubbock 2 weeks ago for a funeral, so I know this.
You know, you could be in a lot of places. Don't mean you have to yell out their zip code. I mean, their area code.
Just state the facts, man.
Okay. What's the area code in Orange, Texas?
Is there an Orange, Texas?
Yes, of course.
Really? Where?
Show it to me on a map.
What is the area code for Bryan, Texas?
Ryan, that'd be called Station.
He's quizzing him, and he's taking the bait.
What? The fact that he's even entertaining this is bizarre.
No, but because of my job, like I sometimes have to call Brian, and I'm like,
hey, don't dox yourself, dude. Careful.
I mean,
Apple.
I was doxxed fucking years ago, man.
That doesn't mean you should do it again.
Yeah, didn't you move?
Oh no, I haven't.
Don't answer that trick question.
Change my fucking phone number, I'll tell you that.
You're so much more doxxed than you think. It's not even funny. It's so sad. It's all out there.
They all have our social security numbers now. Like we're fucked.
Yeah. We should just feel lucky that we're not big enough for anyone to care.
979.
Because
I kind of like it that way.
I know, honestly,
it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. God damn it.
There is an Orange, Texas. Oh, it's at the border with Louisiana. Okay. I've never gone past Houston heading east, so.
You should drive to Louisiana. Go hit some casinos across the border.
I mean, I've been to casinos. I've been to reservation casinos.
New Orleans. New Orleans.
I drove 12 hours, weekend before last. Like I'm good for traveling, I think, for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Unorthodox. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I didn't see what he said.
He said we're celebs in his eyes. We are legends.
Well, you need to get out more, dude. I'm just kidding.
Well, Pack, if you want, if you
more
just want
into our Discord.
Yeah, get into our Discord. What the fuck?
Tack, if you want to go ahead and send us your social security number, we'll provide it to the sources that need it.
Don't do that. All right, guys, it's getting toasty in this room, so I'm gonna power down.
Toasty?
Yeah, I'm getting a little clammy in here.
Clammy. Bye.
Motherfucker, he just couldn't let me be the first.
No,
to leave.
He can never. He has to do that.
To us. Chris Davis, when would be best for you? Come help me.
Thursday, late afternoon or evening would be better, since I work in the office on Thursday.
There is no right answer to this, and I owe you a meal or a drink.
You don't
or something.
Owe me anything. I'm happy to help.
That's very, very nice of you.
I will point out that I've never worked on an AMD system before, so there's going to be a few things I have to learn, but it won't be that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I got a new desk this week, and I put my old desk out on the curb today with a free gaming desk sign taped to it. It was gone in 30 minutes.
I'm probably just a guy down the street just saw it and grabbed it.
Yeah.
Well, show off your new
desk. Get rid of shit, man. I mean, I don't know. I will show you this. I don't know if you can see that.
I see something. Is that a Batman logo or something?
It's Batman.
Okay.
Yeah. I got the Secret Lab desk to go with my chair, but The reason I got it is because it's a rising desk. Bye, everybody.
Oh, there he goes.
Bye.
Watch Nick get shorter in real time.
Bye. Okay, that's it. There we go. That's the real reason I needed a new desk.
Yeah.
I was spending way too much time sitting at my desk. I would work. I've been working from home a lot, so I've been working at my desk, and then it's like, okay, time to power down. But I would like to play games after work. So I just kept sitting, and I was like, well, this just won't do.
Yeah. I thought about getting a standing desk or an adjustable one like what you got, but I don't know. I kind of wanted something. I wanted like an L-shaped desk, something big.
You want an L-shaped desk? That requires a lot of space. I do not have that space.
It does, yeah. So, but it makes the boy happy, and that's the most important.
The boy.
Thing. Yeah, the boy. He's a good boy.
I got one of those.
Is that Taco?
That's Taco.
Taco's a good kid. You should post more pictures of everyone in Eevee.
Oh gosh.
Aw. Taco.
Taco's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's a good kid. Taco's not chonky. What are you talking about, Slade?
She's chunky.
Oh, she's not 15-pound chonky. Now this boy is 15 pounds.
She's getting there though.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all the show and tell I have for tonight.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
All right.